Welcome back to Sub CLE. Today we have Jordan. He's a comedian, and you might know him as Rage the Poetic. He's been on here before, but he brought a new friend, TJ, who is also a comedian, a
Yes,
multi-talented person. And I just want to thank you guys for stopping by, and good to see you.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you today, everyone?
Yeah. All right. So we know a little bit about Jordan, the man of many names, and then we don't know much about TJ. So TJ, what's up, man?
Not too much, dude. Not too much. Like I said.
So well, answer me this. So you grew up in Cleveland?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been around Cleveland pretty much my entire life.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so you got into entertainment. What was like the first thing as far as like entertainment goes that you were doing?
Let's see. What would that be? I think the music probably came first. I was doing music because what happens was I hung out with these guys. Jeremy Prognosis, he's a guy that's well known around the city. Jeremy Davis is his name, and then this other guy, Ezra, DJ Gentleman Ghost is what he goes by.
Okay.
And they worked at this place called Piercing Pagoda over at Richmond Mall.
Okay.
And, we all went to, we graduated high school together. We lived around the same neighborhood, so I'd always go over there and we'd hang out. And they were really cool and stuff, and we would just, laugh and joke and stuff. And one day they were telling me about all this music that they were doing, and I was just like, hey, let me write down some raps real quick. And then, I wrote some stuff down, and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, eventually we just formed this group, and we called it TKC, and, we started making music and, making beats and stuff. We met up, and eventually we actually took it out all the way out to Stony Brook in the Hamptons, which is like fast forwarding. Yeah, and we were able to, we did.
You mean the East Coast Hamptons?
Yes,
over
sir.
There? Yeah,
yes, sir.
Okay. Nice.
You go up there and the street is just like Lexus, Hummer, Range Rover. Yeah, so we did that, and then we met up with this guy Starks, and it was just more collaborations, but eventually it kind of went dormant a little bit. And then, I went into acting. I met Jordan.
Okay.
And, he was with this guy Fred Anthony Taylor. And he was composing this play called Lynch, and then he saw my rehearsal. I guess he was just kind of at a children's center, and they were doing some drills, and I went in.
I think it was the YMCA we were at.
Yeah, the YMCA. We were there, and then I was doing some acting drills, and he's really impressed. So we all got together, and then we started doing this play, and it was cool. And then things kind of fell apart with the director himself. He was a little shady, a little bit. Yeah, Jordan could tell you the whole story.
We signed some contracts. They were faulty.
Oh, really?
We didn't get what we were promised, and it's okay. Well, it's not okay, but it was a life lesson.
Yeah,
it's crazy. They actually said we signed the contracts in black ink, and then they're like, no, we signed the contracts in blue ink, and they're like, no, you gotta redo them in black ink. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy official. Apparently we're gonna really get doing this.
Yeah,
man.
I remember that. Damn,
it's officially a scam.
Essentially, man, because all we got was a dinner at Nazca like this,
which was like a Latin restaurant.
Well,
we got some hard ass fucking overcooked rice and a smile, and he said, good job, guys.
That's what we get.
So, it seems like anybody that's doing goal driven, it seems like they're always looking for an angle, how to, nobody's trying to do it the honest way. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But it also, it's like, man, you're really, on an artistic level, I can't even imagine a filmmaker trying to trying to get a bunch of musicians and artists together is like herding cats. I mean, this has been said on the show a bunch of times,
I believe so.
And I would imagine it's the same with actors, and they, the guy doing an independent film, the guy's probably got no money, so he's probably promising a lot of people that a lot of things that he can't do. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think he promised us 7 cities.
Yeah,
with the play production.
Oh, there's a play. I'm sorry. Yeah,
and I think a lot of times, me personally, is when you talk about people that are in it for the money and trying to scam people and stuff like that. I think in the industry, the entertainment industry, there's actually a lot more instances of people that don't necessarily have the talent but they have the desire for the money and
Sure.
the fame. So they're gonna do anything to work around,
Right, exactly.
including recruiting the people that actually
Right.
have the talent,
Right.
because they're way
Well.
far more charismatic than those people that have the talent.
I think that is such a common thing throughout
Yeah,
any
that's
kind of creative.
very common.
You know, yeah. There's always the business people that want to make the money off of it, and then there's always the true artists that are doing it. I mean, you know, to go into acting and music, and I haven't done any acting, but music and just being a front man in a band and stuff like that. You know, there's a certain amount of narcissism, and you want people to like you and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
So you're doing it for that.
You're not
level,
going on
too.
stage for nothing.
Yeah.
You're self-promoting yourself for
Right,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
You know, but yeah, it's never really about the money. It's about like being accepted, I guess, is more of a thing, and or for something that you truly feel and you truly express, and you want to be like, you know, recognized for that, I guess, right?
Absolutely.
A little background information about the director. So apparently he told me like he made the original screenplay for Night at the Museum.
Okay.
Like he made that it was his idea first, and then the actor Bill Cobbs was in Cleveland, and I guess they were best friends, and Bill Cobbs set in on like, Fred basically told Bill Cobbs the screenplay that wasn't like copyright or anything.
I just hear Bill Cosby every time.
They
he
were
says
just-
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was
I
talking
hear
about at first.
corn
when
on the cob, but I don't know.
when he first told me that Bill Cobbs took his screenplay, I'm like, wow, Bill Cosby took your screenplay.
Oh shit.
Guess it's not
That's
the
the exact thing I
guess
said.
it's not the only thing
That's
that
not
Bill
too bad, man. You know, you're part of history now. That's in Wikipedia, I'm sure.
But the actor Bill Cobbs took his screenplay and ran to Hollywood with that screenplay, and
Yeah.
they made Night at the Museum, and they made a trilogy off of Fred's idea.
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw an interview with Sylvester Stallone on like Conan or something like that, and he was talking about how he had to stab people in the back to get where he was, and
That's
Conan's
how
like, "Oh my God, really?" Yeah.
That's
He's
always
like,
how Conan
"Well,
is.
that's it, as a matter of fact." He's like, "Well, that's how the business
You gotta
works."
step on people.
Yeah.
And
In anything, really. That's why we have shitty politicians. right?
Yeah, you. It's like, you know, it's like a mom and pop corporation. You know, like a mom and pop store, and then down the street there's a Walmart. You know,
Yeah.
the Walmart is essentially stepping on the mom and pop store. They've done nothing wrong.
Right.
They've been working for their whole life. They've given their business to their children. Their parents
Right.
gave it to them. Like they've been an honest business for their entire life. Like this hardware store or something like that, and then
Yeah.
Walmart's like, yeah, aisle 2, 3, and 4. So you get the fuck out of here. So, and then they just get stepped on. They get closed
Yeah.
down in business. There's nothing wrong with their business, but the people that come in, you know, they want the money, so they end up taking over the business. That's kind of the industry. That's the game. You know,
Yeah.
like if you have the power, it's about having the power, having the money, having the recognition, knowing the people, knowing the circumstances. Like it's not about actually having the product, it's about how you sell the product.
Right.
The attitude is basically, listen here, I'm king shit, you're little shit. I'm big, you're small. Shut the fuck up.
In a sense, man. In a
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. So okay. So let's go back to you, TJ. So what was it that drove you to? What was it about music? Where was that in your? What was that like? Did it come from your family, or was it just inspiration from listening to music or whatever?
Well, I mean, growing up is growing up in a black house, there's gonna be music playing throughout the house
Okay.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And then I just always remember, my father, whether it was the Commodores or Earth, Wind and Fire or Ohio Players, is like it's
Right.
always he was down in the basement. He had a big old stereo set and everything.
Yeah.
He had the little record and everything. And he would just be playing the records all day, all night. Even when we got into the car and we're driving, he played Earth, Wind and Fire. He played the Commodores. He played Jean-Luc Ponty. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know that man, but he's
Yeah.
an amazing violinist. And I have been
I've never even
changed
heard that
by
name.
his
That
music.
sounds
You
cool.
need
Yeah.
to listen to that. There's a song called, what is it called? I think it's called it's Plastic something, like Plastic Reality or something
Mhm.
like that. It's such a good song. And
Yeah.
and things like that really inspired me. Like when they said, hey, we should get into rap, like I was mostly making beats, like making the music that they were going to rap on before I
Right.
started doing the lyrics. And like I wasn't good at it, but
Yeah.
doing the whole process of like putting a sample onto a beat, making a beat and putting a sample onto it and finding out how that works within the beat and stuff. It's like almost like a complicated puzzle. It's like science, you know. It's like you're trying to figure out what goes with what sounds good, and then like sometimes you get that final product and you push it out and people are like, yo, man, what is this? This is crazy. And it's like there's no better feeling. Like, and I actually equate that to, you know, doing comedy now. Like I'll talk about, I kind of skipped a little bit, but yeah, like being on stage and, you know, being a comedian and like when you hit that one joke that like everybody laughs at, it's just
resonates.
There's no better feeling. It's such a
like
high, man. No drug compares. And I've done a lot of
euphoria.
drugs. No drug really compares to that. Like, man,
I
it's so great. It's such a great
It's
feeling.
so good that like even you'll want to get on stage again and keep doing the same bit again.
Yeah.
Because you're chasing that high from the first. Even I'm a victim of that. Like I told a joke so good. Like I got this joke where I'm like, yeah, I was in California last week with my grandmother. We took a vacation out in the hip mountains, and the craziest thing happened to me. Like I got attacked by a wild mountain cougar. Yeah, I think she was 58 years old.
Oh wait.
So and that joke hit so hard last year.
Yeah.
I started telling that joke for like 2 months straight.
Yeah.
You know. So
Well,
but yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, you know. Yeah. It's funny. We were just I had somebody on the other day from something involving a monkey, and we were talking about like playing live, and there's no feeling like it. Like, you know, when you stop that song, and you can feel when people are captivated too. You know, it's a connection. Oh, yeah. And when you hear that applause, and you know it's coming, you know it's there before it's going to be there. I'm sure it's like a joke, you know.
And that's
like, you know, it's landing and it's gonna hit. You're connected.
Absolutely,
you know?
Absolutely. There's almost like this hint of silence, and you look out and you kind of see the eyes on you, and like they're prepared, like they're about to like let loose, and then you sit like I had a few jokes like that. And it's like for me. When I do stand up, he always talks to me about this. Like when I do stand up, I don't like repeating jokes. I don't like doing the same joke over again. And it's kind of like a cardinal sin as far as comedians are.
I was going to say, a lot of people have
you want to establish yourself, right? You want to establish a bit, but like that was just never my thing. So like when I go back to jokes and like I do them over again and they still get, you know, more applause and stuff, like that's hitting just as much as like if I were to do a new joke and that hits. Like I understand why people go back and do it, and eventually I'm going to get to that point where I just want to find, like, you want to find that right formula, you know, like that all the way through. Like I got this joke, I got this joke, haha, I got this joke, haha, I got this joke, ha. You know, you want to find that perfect formula, but you know, like I said, it's just going through the motions right now.
Well, and there's you know, I've heard people explain it like with freestyle, and even like I knew a guy that can like flow really good, like rap and everything, and I was like, man, how do you do that? And he's like, well, you have like a repertoire of just things that you know you have. You're just always ready for that moment. Yeah. You know, and when you know how to react exactly to something. You know what I mean?
I could bust out 16 right now. It's like you have to have it on deck, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like you might not, whatever. It's like somebody might pop it on you or whatever, but you're always ready because if you're always trained, you're always practiced, you're always on.
Yeah, I think that's why Eminem is like.
Yeah,
and I heard an interview about him. Yeah,
I heard
an interview about that. He said like his process when he freestyles, he's like, yo, I have like 5, 6, 7, 8 lines that are already prepared that I already have. And then every once in a while, I'll mix in something that's really freestyled so I can stay relevant to the topic or what's going on right now. Everybody thinks that, like, hey, I'm in this topic right now, but really, I got rehearsed stuff, and I got this freestyle. It's mostly rehearsed, but, you know, mixing in the freestyle. Like, that's the formula,
that's
really.
That's why he pays the big bucks.
Well, and that's like, you know, I've heard this with the guitar, and it's like you're just improv and blues guitar, whatever kind of guitar or whatever, and you're just jamming. You know, it's I guess it's not as noticeable with guitar because you know these like runs and these scales and these different licks to do, you know, and you just throw them together wherever. Whereas words actually you can place more on a specific thing. You know what I mean? Specific. You know, whereas guitar you sound like you're just jamming it, whatever, but you're just going to your repertoire of licks and scales, you know?
This is the scale, this is the upper scale, this is the downer scale. Yeah, I'm just going through what I've practiced the whole time. You can't tell, but hey.
Yeah, for sure. So okay, so let's go back. So you got into music. Obviously, it was in the family, whatever, and then you got with a rap group,
Yeah.
and then what did you guys ever put anything out? Did I miss that?
There was there was this lifelong project that we always
Sure,
planned on
yeah.
putting out. and
Hey,
just- because
you're
always
preaching
one
to
of
the
them.
choir.
because we're just those types of guys. Like it just I don't want to put my man out here, but I've been drinking, so I'm gonna put you on blast, Ezra. I'm sorry. Like we get into a spot, right? We would be, at his house. We'd be chilling, and he'd have his laptop out. He'd be on Fruity Loops or something like that. He always
Yeah.
had the latest version of Fruity Loops.
Sure.
And we'd be writing down raps or something like that. We'd make some raps. He put up a beat. He was really good. He played the violin, like concert wise. Like he was
Nice.
he was like concert level violinist.
Nice.
And he would play the violin, and then he would like put it into Fruity Loops, and he'd make like a nice little violin, and he'd add hi hats behind it, and like a little drum beat, and it wouldn't be all the way finished, but
Yeah.
it was like a good sounding beat, and we're like, man, like we got some stuff prepared for that, like just finish that up real quick, and we could do it. He would like close the laptop, like I'll finish it later. But I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you hesitant to do this? Just
Why?
finish the beat up. I have no idea. He did that so many times.
Yeah.
He'd be like making a beat, and we'd be like, yeah, man, that's cool. That's great. Like, I love that. I like the sound. And like, we gotta write some stuff down to that. He's like, yeah, just can you add like add a little bit more like hi hat right here? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna work on it later. And he would never work on it later.
Yeah.
It's just like that stuff just kept going, and then it kind of.
It's a shame when stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really disheartening when stuff like that happens because I got pretty good work ethic, and I'd say I'm pretty good at writing lyrics and stuff. I got pretty good lyrics myself, but I'm not the most motivated guy. So, and the guys that were in my group were older than me. They were older
Sure.
guys, so I looked up to these dudes.
Right.
So like everything that they were doing, I'm following their lead. So like when they're out there just lazing around and not doing anything, I guess like, well, I light up this blunt, man. Like, let's do it. It's like, so we just kind of pushed it so far. It's like he moved away in recent years and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like we don't really talk about it too much anymore. He'll always, like my friend Jerm, he'll always bring it up because I still hang out with him to this day.
Yeah.
He lives, over in Shaker Heights. Like he'll bring it up. He's like, yeah, we got to finish the risk, man. We got to finish the risk. And I was like, at some point, man, I don't even know where those beats are anymore.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. It's really
that
sad.
happens in all like types of entertainment. Like you'll have a friend like, yeah, let's make that screenplay. You never make that screenplay, or you got that friend like, oh, yeah, let's produce this show together, like this music show together. Never happened.
Right.
Or let's it can just happen in any type of form
Well,
of entertainment. Yeah,
For sure, and it's weird because it's like you'll get with certain clique of people or a group or whatever, or, and it depends on the chemistry. It's like some people push each other, and you know what I mean. I've been in bands with people, and some just fizzle out because it just doesn't happen. But then some last for 20 years, because you're all pushing each other. You're
Sure.
challenging each other, and there's just something about the chemistry. And it's the same thing with anything. Like if you meet women, you're not gonna like
Everyone's
have
not going to be the perfect one
right.
for you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
I think that's a part of it. It's like that, but that's the thing that a lot of people I think don't want to accept is
Yeah.
that like, why didn't this work out? These are my
Sure.
friends and stuff. It's like being friends with someone
Right.
is very different.
well, it's
than
like the same
conducting
thing as being
business.
upset when a girl dumps you. Why didn't it work out?
Right. Like if you're cool with hanging out with each other, but when you're talking about romance and
Right.
intimacy, she's like, I don't want to kiss you, man. I'm sorry. Like, let's just go back to watching movies.
Right.
and I find that a lot of
It's
girls.
the same.
I find that a lot of girls are like that when they have guy friends, and then the guy friend wants to get serious. They're like, hey, we have a good thing going on here. Let's maybe we should fuck or something.
Oh, are we gonna transition into relationships
and then the
right
girl's
now?
like-
man.
the girl's like,
Oh, man.
I just liked watching Star Wars with you. Like I didn't want to really do this type of stuff.
Well, I have a rule. If I get friend zoned by a girl that I'm attracted to sexually, I just won't talk to her.
That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm like, well, fuck it. This
Get
can't
real
work.
with it, man. Get
This
real
can't
with
work
it.
then.
I am preserving my happiness right now. All right,
Right.
I'm preserving.
That's
my
exactly true.
I'm not about to just go off of the. I know where I am. I know where I am. Like we've all been there. Like it's,
Right.
it's set in stone. We know what it looks like. We all know. That's why you say like in TV shows, we're like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah,
About to fall into the prince. He's there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like we all know, man.
Yeah.
We know what it looks like.
But
Yeah.
you know, it's weird because if it's the other way around, and like you basically are a girl really likes you and you're hanging out with her, then you're the douchebag.
now you're an
because
asshole.
Yeah,
of
right.
course.
Yeah.
And we usually do that because the girl's not like hot enough.
Yeah.
Because if a girl's hot, we're gonna be like, well, yeah, I'll fuck you.
And now I don't want to get topical with it, but like I just saw this situation. I thought that exact same thing, not necessarily the friend zone thing, but have you heard about Michelle Branch recently? Did you hear about her?
I went to high school with a Michelle Branch, I think.
The girl that made like 1,000 miles or whatever.
No, I don't know. who
Yeah,
it is.
she's married to the guy. Apparently, she's married to the guy from the Black Keys. One of the I guess
Oh,
he's the lead
okay.
singer from the Black Keys.
Okay.
Right. She, I guess he recently cheated on her or
Okay.
something like that. She found out about it.
Shocker.
Yeah, she found out about it. Went to Twitter. Was like, oh, this guy cheated on me. And then I guess she went over to him wherever he was, and like she slapped him.
Right.
And then he called the police on her for assault.
Right.
And then like the police, like I guess she got arrested or something like that for assault. And then like all these people on Twitter are talking about like, what a fucking asshole. He called the police on, like that's some
Right.
weak behavior, man. And I'm thinking about like, is there any situation in that relationship where he wins? Is there any situation where he
Yeah.
gets it? Like if she cheated on him and he went and slapped her,
Well,
what are they gonna say? Like, what a fucking asshole. He slapped
So
Michelle
there's-
Branch. It's like
I see the humor in that, but I'm going to save us all right now and say, well, men are a lot stronger than women.
Absolutely. I'm gonna, of course. Please, no, America, do not gang up on me. I understand the situation, but it's like it just, sometimes it feels like
Yeah.
it's like there's no winning in that
Right.
those type
no,
of
there's
situations.
no.
But
Well, you have to learn. You can't win.
yeah, of course. You have to
When
just
it comes,
sit back
it-
and let happen
You just
what
let it
happens.
take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's just what it is, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
think
what it is.
I got a little gray in my beard here, and
Season.
and I'll tell you what, you just go, oh, you're wrong. Oh, what? Yes, I am wrong,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
You take
then
that L, man.
and then I just move on.
Take that L like a captain and just keep on sailing. Just give the salute and you keep on sailing, man. That's all you can do.
Take
That's
that
all you can do.
accountability and move on.
Absolutely. Yeah, because like I've recently found my way into a relationship. I'd say over
Oh,
last.
I'm sorry.
And I'm proud of him.
I don't want to say because if she
No,
watches
congratulations.
This, no. If she
Okay.
watches this, she's gonna be so pissed off that I said that.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to call it a relationship. It's
Oh.
not a relationship. We're taking it very, very slow.
Looks like somebody just got friend zoned.
We're we're taking it very, very slow. But like I said, I really it's one of those things like when you find somebody and you have such a great time together
Yeah.
and you like everything feels right, everything
Sure.
feels comfortable. You don't have to act out of yourself. You don't have to be outside of your skin and all
Sure.
that stuff. And it's like that. I feel like that's the situation we're in, and I try to avoid fucking that up, any way that I can. So it's like you kind of have to find the ins and outs of maneuvering through
Well-
those relationships and wait. You have to wait. It's really a waiting game, man, because you have to let her be comfortable.
I feel you, and I wish for the best, and I hope it works out, but it never did for me. Usually, if it felt like that, it was like great and then fleeting,
yeah.
Yeah.
or it's like great and you're just like really good friends and
Yeah.
no sex and no
Yeah.
intimacy. romance.
women are like cats.
Intimacy is
You
not
know,
necessarily sex.
Women
but-
are like cats.
Absolutely.
They have to fill you out and like make sure you're all good.
Yeah.
And once they're all good, which you're then like, all right, you can pet me, you can you can rub my belly. I guess that's what I got, pussy. I don't know.
But if
Oh,
you're listening, Mariah, I really like you. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back to TJ. So doing the rap band, and then what? So, I mean, it's obviously something you want to be an entertainer. Obviously, if you're doing the comedy
I'll
and
tell
then
you
the
what, this
acting
man
and
is
everything.
A great entertainer. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well,
obviously.
when we were running lines and doing the plays,
Yeah.
this man memorized everybody's lines. and did them great,
Yeah.
greater than the person that was actually playing.
Now, did you guys go to the School of Arts
No,
at
we
all?
just-
No.
We're just fucking people that just
Yeah.
looked at a script and started
Well,
acting.
Well, because I was taking some.
I
took-
wanted to go there though.
Yeah, I took a singing class, and I honestly never even knew of it. You know, that's kind of like a vocational thing. You could do that like in high school, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I honestly never knew that. I guess coming from the suburban, you know,
The only,
whatever,
Right.
you
No,
know
I
what
know
mean?
what you mean.
the only
You know-
vocational school I went to was Max Hayes, and I went there for computer science and coding. I'm happy I learned how to code there.
Yeah.
I didn't get what coding was when I was a kid. I'm like, this is like weird geek shit. But now I understand, like, this shit is like everything.
Oh, it's
you know?
everything.
It's the makeup of
Yeah, it's
computer.
everything.
But yeah, we didn't go to CSA or anything. We
Well,
just kind of just started doing it.
Well, yeah, because like I met some people when I was in this Tri-C's, you know, singing class, and I learned a lot actually. And it was weird, you know, I was a little older when I did it, you know, and was with a bunch of young people, but a lot of them had gone to the, you know, that was
Yeah.
what they did.
Mm.
Amazing musicians, man. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it was just like, wow, this is what, like, if you were schooled to do it, this is how good you would be. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You know, because I always had to fight with my parents, and I'm like, oh, I really want the guitar, and no, you know.
No,
it's
go
like,
be a
whatever.
lawyer.
Exactly. They've got an
Be a
entire
doctor.
lane for
It
you.
wasn't even be a lawyer or be a doctor. It was like, just go work in a scrapyard. Fucking whatever. Just work.
That's the
You
tradition.
got to work hard.
Yeah, right. And I've seen that, man. Like do I want to? Am I considered like a victim of the times? Am I just getting old, or is it just seems like the generation that wanted their kids to just have a job and
Yeah.
just grow up and have a job and have something to fall back on? Like that's falling away, man. It's
Yeah.
falling away. Like everything is like
Yeah, it is.
I have to be famous.
The old way.
Like everything is like it's about being
Well,
famous. It's
It's about
especially-
being famous on TikTok nowadays.
It's about being recognized.
Oh,
It's about I need my attention. You
Well,
know?
but you know, it's like people that come from upper middle class don't necessarily. Well, I don't know. That's not true.
like I said,
that's not
it's-
true. Because
Yeah, I was gonna
they
say
just have
it's
a better
everywhere,
start.
man. It's
Yeah,
everywhere.
it is everywhere because you know you look at the Paul brothers or whatever from Westlake. You know, it's like
My goodness.
yeah.
Like you hate to live in the same state.
Well,
as
and
them.
it's like they
Yeah.
obviously, you know, because you can pay for promos on
For sure.
YouTube and stuff,
For sure.
and they had the money to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, yeah. So it's like, you know, the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, you're so like if you don't come from the right family, you know, and it's definitely a lot more in the black community for sure, you know. But there's definitely I didn't come from wealth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but it's definitely a class thing, and it's almost they make it almost impossible, you know. But I do believe if you do work hard, you can do it. You know what I mean?
I think
There is that possibility. It's just you're fighting against all odds. You have a steeper hill to climb, but you got to climb it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We all had like Trump had like a little hill to like kind of. Oh, I got to walk over this hill.
Yeah.
We're like, you know, pulling
I had
ourselves
to
up.
get a modest $10 million loan from my father. Very modest. Very modest. No, but I think I think it's I think talent in all. I think even as corrupt as this nation could get, and as obsessed with the fame and obsessed with the fortune that we can get, talent really it will trump all, because that's how
No
you
pun
make those.
intended.
That's how you. That's how you make the money, though.
Yeah.
That's where the money comes from. Because even the people that try to manipulate and try to put those people out there to
Yeah.
make that money, you need that talent in
Right.
the first place in order to get that recognition,
Well-
to get that notoriety.
Well, and I think, you know, I really do believe, I don't know who said it, it's been so long, but oppression breeds creativity,
Absolutely.
you know, and that's why
Yeah.
you see a lot of
It's
the,
harder to deny that every day, man.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
passing year.
It's
Yeah.
like the quote Tupac said, you know, out of the concrete came a rose. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And that's
Same.
why the term "out the mud" is out there. Like when you get it out the mud, and you're like you rise to the top, that you just turn into like a beautiful butterfly. Like,
Yeah, and
Bug's Life.
that's why they got that joke that was going around. It's like, man, I wish my dad left when I was younger, so I could probably have a good career right now. I'd be a TV star, a movie star. I wish my dad wasn't in my life. Why was my dad around my whole time? You know, it's like it's like those.
You would have had that
types
struggle.
of situation. Yeah, those types of situations always breed the most talent because I think when it's just the dedication is far more intense. I
will tell you when my dad left, he was around for most of my life, but when I turned 18, that's when I really just like started to get out more, and that's when I met you. And I started doing more plays and just starting to get out more as an actor, artist, or whatever.
Yeah.
I started to just talk to people out in the streets, and besides being in my room and like being on Facebook, I started going out into the world. My dad left.
Yeah, we never would have been friends if I didn't approach you, bro.
Yeah,
I came up and sat down.
Did you approach me?
I came
or
up and sat down next to you.
No, it's Fred.
Yes, we were.
No, Fred made us friends because I needed a ride home, and then he said, "All right, you give him a ride home," and then we became friends.
We
in
were
the car.
at the table read for Memorial. We were in that one little tiny room in that place. I forget what the place was. It's where NASCAR
It was
is
the
right now.
It was the YMCA. We met at the YMCA in Warrensville.
Whatever it was, but
Yeah.
like you were sitting by yourself. I came down and sat next to you, and I was just like, "Yo, so what's going on, man? How's this whole acting thing going?" I was really trying to get some like pointers from you, like seeing like what do you
You're
do?
trying to
like,
get
how do you-
pointers from a 12th grader.
I mean, it's whatever, man. Like I just wanted to get any
Well,
inspiration where I could.
Well, I
I
mean,
didn't know what the fuck I was doing either. I was like, why am I still doing this?
Well,
I
but,
could be with
you
my
know,
girlfriend right now.
persona is something, you know what I mean? And it's, I think there's really something the birds of a feather flock together,
Absolutely.
That's what
And
happened.
and whether or not he went to you or you went to him or whatever, I mean, you definitely you seem like that go-getter kind of attitude, whatever, and as both you guys do actually. But I think Jordan, you got like a more subtle, quiet,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty chill.
but the thing is, hey, I don't even know how. I know we work together or whatever, but we're sitting in the same room right now that we have been a few times. You know what I mean? It's like I said, birds of a feather flock together somehow. I don't know how I'm friends with any of my friends, really. Honestly,
I don't even
you know what I
question.
mean?
I'm like, you're still around? All right, cool.
But that's how you know, though. That's how you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends, let's do this shot.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just
I've been
sit
sipping
here.
on this thing.
Hey,
Yeah,
Vince, plug this in. What is this?
Oh, so this is this is a very cheap tequila, but I recommend it as far as cheap tequila. It's the Mi Campo. Very cheap. It's about $25 a bottle, and it's tasty. I'm gonna make some enemies right now, but it kind of reminds me of Plaza Azul. But anyway, which is like a $200 bottle of fucking tequila. But here you go. Salud, guys.
Thank you.
All right, down here. You know what's crazy growing up? If we can sideline off of TJ's story, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What we
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What? Go ahead.
Like, you ever watch like wrestling promos in the '80s? Like guys like
Oh, yeah.
Flair and Ultimate Warrior. Like,
Well,
why
that
was
wasn't the
shit-
80s.
Why was that shit always?
That
so
wasn't
over
the 80s. I think that was the 90s, wasn't it?
No,
I don't know. I'm not a
It was
wrestling
really
guy.
the late
But
80s that
because
where
I thought the
popping off.
80s were like Hulk Hogan and Ricky Steamboat and fucking
All that shit.
Jimmy
I was saying,
Superfly.
Macho Man really got his start in the late 80s, man, when he's over here doing the promos.
Yeah.
just,
The Slim Jim.
And then the Macho Man, he's gonna be the one, and then the cream will rise to the top. Yeah, and the cream will rise to the top. Yeah, and Macho Man, he's gonna stand in that ring. He'll be the one holding the title belt. Hulk Hogan will be on the ground in the main event. The Macho
Then
Man
Hulk Hogan
will
would come
be
in
there.
like, well, let me tell you something, brother. I'm all jacked up. Look at my 50-inch python, brother. I'm so, Mean Gene, I will strangle you. And then they got this thing where they're like want to shake each other's hands, the mega powers, and they're struggling to shake each other's hand, but they couldn't do it. It's like wrestling promos in the 80s. What kind of crack or
There may have been
cocaine.
some drugs mixed in.
Well, I was a
That's for
child
sure.
in the '80s, so I don't know what kind of crack was going on, but that
You
shit
just
was
loved
crazy.
watching that shit.
Well,
though,
it was
didn't
so
you?
cartoonish, right?
Absolutely right.
You know?
But, well, who's better to enjoy cartoons than some little
Right.
kids?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's
like-
just funny that when I grew up and I'm like talking to guys in their 30s and stuff, and they're still into it.
no. Those,
I'm like,
don't
that's
laugh.
fake.
My brother.
They're like,
is-
well, some of it is.
My brother's going to WrestleMania. He's getting tickets. He's watching the spoilers and stuff like that. Yeah, like
He's into it.
Very in. My man, he's 36
But
years old.
What's the difference? Here's the difference between that and Marvel. You know, because I like the Marvel stuff. Whatever.
I love Marvel.
You know, but I know it's fake. Whereas I really do believe those guys feel as though it's kind of real. Like it's somewhat
Yeah,
scripted.
you've seen the
They're
meme.
like,
You've seen the memes.
No, I
Like, it's
don't know.
still real to me, damn it.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, they interviewed a guy, I guess, like he was holding the microphone. He was just talking about like, yeah, you know, I love you guys do such great work. It's like a local wrestling thing or something like
Yeah.
that. He's just, I love your guys' work and you do that. I forget what he said, but like at the end, he just capped it off was like, it's still real to me, damn it. I was just like,
well, it's like
Jesus.
these guys. Obviously, you can see. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. Right, this is my only time thinking about this, but like these guys are just completely secluded from reality.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
are
and
you
it's
talking
like,
about
no,
the
that's
fans?
real.
Yeah.
Are you
for
talking
sure,
about the
for
fans
sure.
or the
Yeah, the fans. The fans. No,
absolutely.
the guys doing it are making a
they,
living.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They get with. They read the script. They go out there. They perform. It's like, yeah, they know what they're doing.
Right.
The-
Yeah,
but the
and they're
fans-
hardworking, and they're athletic, and they're talented, and there's nothing.
For sure.
There's,
You cannot sit. You can't simply just stop it at like wrestling is fake and then that's it. No,
Right,
no, no.
yeah, yeah.
These people are fucking athletes. The
Yeah,
amount
yeah.
of endurance,
And
the
act-
amount of shape it takes to go out and,
And
do
they're
that stuff
actors.
every
Yeah.
week.
They're
I don't
act-
care how fake it is. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. That stuff is crazy to do, man. Like you can't just be a wrestler. You can't just get off the street and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole hour special on a wrestling." No,
Yeah.
it ain't happening like that, man.
Speaking
I
of-
give them props.
Speaking of
Yeah.
wrestling, why you heard about what happened to Vince McMahon? Shitty time to be named Vince.
okay,
huh, Vince?
yeah, right. Well, not really, because I don't care. But but no, like I heard about that, and I just I don't even know if it's real.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, is it the script or is it the
Yeah.
I don't reality or I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, maybe real people
He was really
know.
molesting women, though. He was-
Oh, is that what's going
that
on?
was a
I don't
very real
know.
thing. Yeah,
Well,
he had
Oh, I didn't know
he
that.
recently had to step down because over the span of 16 years, he was pretty much
Really, a
molested.
roided out guy was.
A
We're
roided
now
out guy
billionaire.
that literally had a sex scene inside of the ring.
Yeah.
Literally let people go out into the ring and have sex. Literally
Well, wasn't
has
that
fans
Triple
in the-
H?
No, that was
No,
Edge.
that was Edge and Lita.
Oh,
This guy
okay.
just sent me that video recently.
I just
Like,
watched it. That's you
They
put
just
it up there.
they
yeah.
just had sex. That's
Yeah.
it. They just had sex. That's
I know.
it.
She was like all bent over. I
What
was
does
like,
this have to do with wrestling? Is somebody gonna pile drive someone? What's going on here?
Listen,
it's just
I read
sex.
I heard a podcast where his own daughter Stephanie was like, "Yeah, my father wanted me to do a bit where my brother wanted to date me and marry me, and we
That's
were
a
gonna have
businessman
we were
right
gonna
there.
have a child together on TV." I'm like, and she's like, he really wanted me to do this, and I had to decline. I'm like, yes,
That was
that's
this Triple H and Stephanie thing. Is
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
That's
but
called
it-
using every resource available. That's what that is.
It ended
man.
up being Triple H and Stephanie, but it was supposed to be like
Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon and Stephanie together having a baby, but she declined it and it ended up being Triple H and Stephanie.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm like, this man is crazy, and that's why I believe he paid women off to have sex with him.
Well, I mean, again, he's a roided out, like you said, billionaire.
Billionaire.
Of course.
Those are two
of course
things.
he's.
Those
Where
guys
it's
are not
just
even in
like, of course
reality
Your
anymore.
actions are not accountable anymore. It's just like somebody's got to wrangle you involuntarily. You can't just wrangle yourself in
Right,
at that
yeah.
point. Yeah.
Well, it's so, you know, of course, and I'm gonna probably some girls are looking for a payday.
We're treading
You know
thin
what I
water
mean?
here.
You
It's,
know
it's
what
the
I
same
mean?
thing
You
with our
know.
quarterback on the
Right.
Cleveland Browns. Yeah, it's very
Sean
similar.
Watson.
I always
Okay.
bring that up, man. It's just,
All right, well, this
listen,
is a
as
Cleveland
sports
show.
fan, I'm not gonna get that deep into it. But as a sports fan, I can't. I'm not gonna pay. There's so many instances of that. Just move over to sports entertainment. Move over to politics.
Yeah.
Move over to other. Like there's guys with that exact same situation going off, but everybody's like, burn
Well,
in hell, this
well,
guy. I
yeah.
know he's done wrong. I realize that he's done wrong. Like,
But-
there's no getting around that. But like, Jesus Christ, you want to hang this guy in the
Well,
street?
But the thing is, and I don't know all that much about it, so I'm going to claim ignorance a lot. But
Mhm.
Ben Roethlisberger, I guess,
Yeah,
raped a girl.
He raped.
He raped a girl, and as far as I
raped
know,
her in the
Deshaun
stall.
Watson just kind of shopped around on Instagram for girls that'll just give him a happy ending, right?
For sure.
I mean,
I
Who
think-
doesn't?
and
like a
and
happy
and it
ending?
seemed like and it just seems like probably a lot of guys in the NFL do that. I mean, I've worked at a place where
Even the commissioner.
I know these guys, the married guys I see them with other girls.
You're talking about
You know what I
4
mean?
to 500 guys that have tens of millions of dollars at their disposal. What the fuck do they care about a
Well,
massage
and-
therapist?
right,
You know, it's
right.
like this. He's not the only one here.
No,
man.
he is not the only
He's
one.
just the one that
Dude,
got caught.
He's a 20-something, early 20-year-old stud.
Yeah, right.
Like,
one of the
he's
top
not
quarterbacks in
gonna
the
want to
league.
have sex.
That's why it's the problem, because he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Well,
That's what makes it a big problem.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna do it.
You
I'm
don't
gonna
have any
pull.
more
I'm gonna.
limbs.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna pull the card. I'm gonna pull the card because when everyone's gonna hate me now. When white guys do it, they get suspended 4 games.
Yeah.
Look, man. I don't want to say it. You said it, and I've been saying it to myself the entire time. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
man. But look,
No, but
nobody's-
seriously,
nobody's-
how many
it's
black
never-
quarterbacks are in the NFL?
It's never going to be confirmed. We're never going to be able to get the hard evidence, because who's going to give you the evidence on that?
Right.
Who's going to confirm it one way or another? But there's so much.
That being
evidence there.
said, if he really did,
if he really did, like, that's really messed up.
That's bullshit.
Really fucked up.
But all the accusations got thrown out of court,
It-
and you know what I mean. Now they're in civil.
24
whatever.
of 25 settled.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like even the judicial system didn't even think it was worth it. You know what I mean?
2 grand juries were like, "You're getting tugged off.
Right.
Will you please get out of our
Right,
courtroom?"
right,
It's like-
right,
it's just
right.
like-
I just got tugged up before I got on this jury. Fuck it.
Yeah, I was like, of course, I don't want to undermine the situation, obviously, but it's like, like, I've talked to my friends, like work colleagues, and people at work. Like, if I was in another city, if I wasn't a fan of of the Cleveland Browns, if I was in another city, I'd still be like, well, I mean, he went to a couple of courts and they didn't say anything.
No criminal
Like,
charges.
Yeah, that's what I'm
None.
saying. Like, it's
Not
just
one
like
criminal charge.
So if I get it, you want you're getting a massage. I've been to Asian massage parlors. I know how the system works. I get the formula. There's a
Right.
formula to this thing,
Like,
man.
somebody's
And
out to get
and
him.
you go
Somebody's
you're
out to
like,
get him, right.
hey, and they're just like,
Yeah.
no, or they're like, yeah, sure.
They say, "You want me to finish?"
yeah, I didn't.
But
I was like,
even after they came out with the 6-game thing and whatever, and the arbiter person was like, "Well, you never gave out anything more than 6 games before to a bunch of white guys," and you know what I mean. So I can't do anything more than that, right?
Right.
And immediately the next day, like, because I'm fucking watching, even though I say I'm done with the Browns, fucking, because I
You
thought
never
Baker
can be
Mayfield, fucking, whatever,
Yeah,
fucking,
that
I
whole
thought,
thing, man.
whatever, I'm done with them. But anyway, I'm going to talk about it some more. But, the next day, like, every talking head was like, this is absurd. Yeah, right. And it's like, come on, man. Because I like to watch the Shannon Sharp and Skip.
Yeah,
Again, those
they're
guys.
good. They're good for what they do. Like, they might not be like the most informative. They're not giving you the most poignant like points of view, but God damn it, they're going to entertain you.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going to entertain you till the
Yeah,
show's
yeah.
over.
I
promise you.
love it. I think
Skip!
it's so good.
Skip!
Come on, Skip.
Come on, Skip. Skip, I'm trying to tell you. Skip, listen to me, Skip. Yeah, but that's
exactly what that
but
is. That's
yeah,
so funny.
it's just like, like I said, I get that whole thing. I understand where they're coming from. It's just, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I said, you leave your opinions out there.
My opinion on it is like, hey, what if the guy that who plays for the Buccaneers now? That's like
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady did this. What would he get?
Well, the thing is, that guy is so goody two shoes. You know what I mean? Like, he
From
runs.
what we can see,
The thing is, that's one of the things I heard was they had to extend Deshaun Watson's the games he can't play because he didn't want to share. Tom Brady would not want to share a field with him and wreck his.
Wow,
name.
everything revolves around Tom Brady.
What, man? Like, that's so crazy. We're talking about a guy that won the Super Bowl and was somehow able to walk around the city of Tampa Bay without a mask on during the height of COVID, drunk out of his mind. And they're just like, yeah, Tom Brady, you're the legend. You're great. We don't have any fault. But this guy is like someone. I think that was a funny. I told a joke about
Tom
that, by the
Brady
way.
like actually looks like that Patriot. Like
Yeah,
logo
absolutely.
guy.
He's the prototype, like, attaboy, Tom. Like, he's the prototype guy. That's why he has 7 championships. It's not just Bill Belichick. That wasn't it. That wasn't it.
He's a nice jawline.
He's got the face. He's got the face of a winner, man. Like, and I just thought, as I was funny, like I said, I told a joke on the stand-up. It's just like, it's funny, like, Roger Goodell appointed this woman, you know, to go over this whole case, to look over all the information, to do the research for months on end. She, I think it was like maybe a month and a half. She was looking at all of this research, looking at all of these statements, looking at all these findings, and she's like, based on what I said, and I'm a woman and I'm unbiased and I have no cards in this game. I'm a former federal judge. And based on my findings, I think he had egregious behavior. But because it was nonviolent behavior, he will get the standard of 6 games, which everyone else got, because there's not enough evidence to full-heartedly appoint him as a monster or a pet, a predator or something like that. Even though he exhibited predatory behavior. And then Roger Goodell,
what 20-year-old guy doesn't?
And then Roger Goodell comes on like, I appreciate Sue Robinson's decision. This is about women. We appreciate women. Now here's this man to overturn everything that I just said. Like, and then you got this guy, and basically this guy just sat around for 2 weeks and is like, he's going to make a decision unless we have an agreement with the Players Association. And then they just made an agreement with the Players Association.
Right. It's not like, I know this is such a touchy subject.
For sure.
But we're raw here.
Yeah, right. But I really do think, like, it's gone. We'll never see this again. No, it's gonna go out there. I don't care, because I don't think I'm saying anything wrong. I don't think you're saying anything wrong. Absolutely. I don't think you're saying anything wrong. I think, I've definitely been in my 20s, and I've definitely wanted to have sex, and I was definitely trying my hardest to do so. But I don't believe I ever disrespected any girls in doing so. That being said, I may have been forward. I may have asked for things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I may, and it's like, that's all I see. The worst of what I saw him accused of was him begging for her to touch his dick.
If you
like, he wasn't like holding her down, raping her.
You're
know
reading
what I mean?
between the lines, and you say like, he was, he's basically pleasuring himself, saying like, hey, come on, can you do this?
Right.
But the thing was, like, she's like, I was shocked, because she was at that interview. I saw the HBO interview. She's like,
I didn't see any.
I was frozen and I was shocked. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But then the next line is like, when I continued the massage.
Right.
Why are you continuing the massage? If he
and that's why I think because there is a theory out there that the owner is friends with this lawyer.
That's definitely a big thing.
Accusing a thing.
That's a big thing.
And it's like they're just trying to trash him, and so they somehow got a hold of all the girls he went to, because it's probably common knowledge, because probably all the fucking players do it. You know what I mean? And it's like
caught doing it.
He was just fucking around too much, and he didn't take the precautionary steps.
Well, I think somebody's out to get him, really. Because dude, these, I am definitely no alpha male. So I have definitely never pushed any girl or whatever. No. I've definitely tried to get with girls I liked. Mm-hmm. Probably not as hard as a lot of guys, because I'm still single, but
He's like, I'm not putting myself out there completely, like, I still am by myself. So
no, and it's different now that I'm a little older. It's testosterone levels going down, I'm sure, but still want to have sex every day. But it's not overcoming. Like when I was in my early 20s, like I remember like still being religious at the time, and I'm like, God, I just wish I didn't want to have sex all the fucking time. You know what I
I'm still in
mean?
my late 20s, and I feel like that. 2 children later, they still feel like that.
Right? Yeah. And it
just wanna
doesn't
bang
go
like
away
the
until
Incredible
a
Hulk.
while.
It
Trust
really
me.
doesn't. It really doesn't. Man.
Yeah, and it still hasn't gone away, but at least I can think now, man.
Right.
I can think a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm out here
Sometimes I was
like
like,
Hawk if he can
Yeah.
fuck all the time.
But
I mean,
that's,
just
but
based
that's
on-
why we're here. That's why humanity is
Yeah.
here. You
based
know
on
what I
your
mean?
experiences, based on the things that you go through, you kind of can form those thoughts. It happens so many times that you almost find yourself in that situation sometimes where
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to have to go there. I'm not even going to go. Like you
Right.
said, it's like I'm going to protect my happiness.
Right.
I'm not about to get
Well,
friend
dude,
zoned. I'm
dude,
not about to.
yeah.
We know, when it's going to happen.
Right.
Now. Yeah.
Well, I was, I was raised, Catholic, so I always thought somebody was looking over on me. So I always had to be at my best, Even if I was alone, I'm like, oh no, can't touch that,
That's just how they broke it.
right, yeah. But I remember there was this girl I was seeing, and she was so drunk and whatever, and I was just like, she's too drunk, I can't. And she's a little younger than me. I was like, I can't do this, and I was like 25 maybe. She was like 20 or something, and I woke up in the morning and I like look over and the dresser drawer was open and it was like a bunch of condoms, and I'm like, here I am being a nice guy. You know what? I never talked to her again.
Wow.
Not that I didn't want to. I think.
right. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? It's like some girls like the I don't even want to say that, but it seems like some girls like the aggressive. Nah,
Yeah, girls.
you
some
know,
girls
it's like I don't know.
some girls like.
But
it.
how do you know when it's a thing and whatever?
Yeah,
It's so
yeah.
it's
Well,
so confusing.
It's confusing. Like some girls like the guy just like choke him up and put him on the wall.
Right.
But I'm like, all right, what if I just start doing that?
And
you're
then
like,
now you got a felony.
right.
I don't even think it kind of doesn't even have to be that extreme. I think it's just the fact that like there's a lot of women out there. I think a majority of women, and it's always going to be a majority of women, like not all of them, but a majority of women, they want that masculinity. There's just no replacing that. They
Well,
want the
it's
they
in your
want-
DNA.
Right, they
you know.
want that's the basis of human nature. They
Right.
want a man to be like, "Hey, we're going to fuck. Like we're going to do this, we're going to do that." And they want that man to do that, and they're willing to do it because it's the natural instinct that occurs in
Yeah.
them. Now, again, I'm not talking about all women. That's
Right.
just some women.
Well, I'll tell you what,
It's just natural.
and you're definitely not the guy because I heard the story about you just recently getting friend zoned. So no, I'm kidding.
No, they're like, "Hey man, you're not lying, bro. You're not lying. You're not
Hey,
lying."
you're a nice guy. Yeah, but that's the thing though. Trust. Well, I definitely have women in my life that are definitely not like seeking aggression, but I've been with girls that it's like they push you and then no, and then they push you and then no.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well,
don't
I'm
know
not
why.
gonna
because
rape
they want you to just
Yeah, I'm not gonna
yeah.
rape you.
Yeah.
And it just never works out.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's,
Yeah.
I
that's
just-
why I've always had a problem with girls. They'd be like, if you want to just fuck me. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
You gotta want it.
Because what if we
Right.
fall
Like, I
out?
wanna-
What if we fall out
Right,
and you're like,
yeah.
he just raped me?
I don't know if you heard that Louis C.K. joke. Did you ever hear that?
Oh, dude, I love Louis C.K.
He's like that girl. He's just like, "Hey, why didn't you do anything last night?" He's like, "Well, you didn't seem like you wanted. You kept pushing me away." She's like, "No, I was really into it." He's like, "Well, you should have told me." He's like, "Yeah, I like it when a guy just goes for it." He's like, "Well, you should have just let me know." He's like, "No, I don't want to tell you. I just want you to go for it." He's like,
Right.
"What are you fucking out of your mind? You want me
Right.
to just rape you on the off chance that maybe you're into that shit?" Like,
Well, and he ain't wrong because he got into trouble for asking a girl
asked
to
me.
watch him jack off.
and as
He
Dave,
got in trouble for asking.
I was gonna
as
bring
Dave
that up.
Chappelle quoted, Louis C.K. died in that horrible masturbation accident.
But that's crazy because he's one of the greatest comics of our time,
Yeah,
man. Really,
there's no doubt
You know,
about that.
and it was just like he asked for
Yeah.
permission.
That whole story doesn't it seem very Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
That whole story seems very Louis C.K. of him.
That
It's
sounds
just
like a joke.
Are you okay if I do this? I'm gonna do it. It's just like
And the girls just kept watching. They could have left
right.
the room.
They could have left. But they claim that he was at a hot. He had power over them, and
Nobody has power.
whatever.
He didn't put his
Look,
he didn't
I'm
put
not-
his hands on you and make.
I'm
you
not
snap.
rolling
about
my
to-
eyes.
We're not
but,
about to debate what's
whatever.
going on with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, but it's it's-
So let's go back to TJ here.
Okay.
for sure.
Before we get canceled.
But yeah.
No. So okay. So you were did the rap thing. What was your first act? It was the play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the play Lynch. Like I said, I was with Fred Taylor. We were at the YMCA, and I was with my friend Jeremy's girlfriend, the guy I was telling you with the music group. I was with his girlfriend, and she was mentoring some young kid. And like one of the activities that day was they were doing, acting drills and something like that. They were like acting out some different roles. And he's like, just get in the line, just do the drills, see what we can do. And I went in the line, I did a couple of drills, and he was like, I guess he was blown away by what I was doing. So he's just like, hey,
TJ was a natural.
yeah. So he's like, I got a line, I got a role for you in this play, Lynch. You can be Malcolm X.
Give me your glasses.
And I was like, okay, like Malcolm X, that's a pretty big role. So what ended up happening, we actually, we got a role, and he was already doing the play. He was doing a bunch of plays with Fred. So I got brought on to the play as the role of Malcolm X, and it
That's
was
funny. You can you can be him
a lot of
or
people
Tupac.
say that. A lot of people say
Or
like
Tupac.
with the glasses.
He look,
Tupac or Malcolm X, man. Like I'm typecast out
he
here.
looks like
man.
a modern. If Malcolm X was alive today, he would look like how TJ.
You could do Andre too.
There we go.
Andre 3000.
There we go. Man, that's one of my favorite rappers, man. I would love to
Yeah.
do
He's
that.
amazing.
It's funny you said that because I got a song. I did my last full length album. Me and TJ got a song together, and I'm like, TJ, I want you to like do some like Andre 3000 shit, and he nailed it. Like,
Yeah. Well, the tenor of your voice does kind of sound like little Andre.
No, Andre
Yeah,
got that country accent. Like,
I try to to base my my criteria and my product off of what they do. I find inspiration by so many different artists out there, and it's like the only thing you can do is kind of take from them and just incorporate that, because you have to have your own flow. You have to have your own style. The only way you're ever going to make it in the industry nowadays, like, you have to have your own lane. There's no other way around it. Like, you have to be doing your own thing. Either that or be really good at copying what other people are doing.
Right.
Like, that's those are the only two options that you
I was
have.
gonna say being in the music game right now, it ain't even that, man. Like, you gotta copy like whatever 21 Savage. You gotta copy whatever Playboy Cardi is doing or 21 Savage. You gotta copy what everybody's doing.
But that's
You
what I'm
can't
saying.
when you try to be original, everybody overlooks you. They're like, "Oh, this is boring."
That's not necessarily true, because if you come out with your own style and it's good enough where people are following you, and you're confident with that, and you're constant with that, you're constantly putting out that more.
I was just mainly talking
if
about
you
the
have
rap
your own
game.
lane,
I think
there's no denying that.
Yeah, I think both of those are mutually exclusive. I think there are that is both true, but the only difference is when you copy somebody. I've always kind of made this thing. It's like think about Nirvana. And then everyone kind of came out after Nirvana.
Yeah,
well, where are
absolutely.
those bands now? Really, they copied them, whatever. But the true legends do their own thing, and
Absolutely.
it bust in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's yeah, sure. I mean,
Do you think
but-
Foo Fighters started off like sounding like Nirvana?
no.
I don't think they ever sounded like
David
Nirvana.
Grohl.
It's just Dave Grohl was the band. He was the drummer, and then he ended up being the lead singer of another band. I think that's the only comparison you can really make to Nirvana. They are really their own sound. I think they've always been their own.
I
sound.
agree. Yeah, and I think even Dave Grohl will admit to that. Like he thinks every interview you said, whether or not he thinks it or not, he says it. Kurt Cobain. The reason why everyone's like, man, you write great songs, but why didn't you ever write anything in Nirvana? He's like, well, I had the best songwriter.
What am I going to do?
What am
right?
I- yeah.
Why would I be contributing when this guy's churning out like hits every single time?
Yeah. He's changing history. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Yeah.
Did you know recently? just a little side note. Did you know the guy, the baby in the pool? You know,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
the
Oh,
naked
yeah,
baby.
I know what you're.
You
going.
know, he sued them.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
sued Nirvana.
Even though he did like events in the past for like the 10-year anniversary and the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Even though he did like events and he was champion for it, and they're like, oh yeah, and he made money. It's like now he's offended.
you're offended.
Somebody
now
somebody
you're upset
stopped getting
about
paid.
it. Like, come
Now-
on, man.
You're the
what it
baby
is.
with the big hog.
You're the baby with the dick in the pool. Like, come on,
Come on,
dude.
how many babies got dicks that big? Come on.
Yeah.
But how many
I mean,
babies get the cover of a Nirvana album, dude? Like, how are you about to take advantage of that
What it is
situation?
somebody stopped getting paid.
I think that has something to do with it.
That's
Yeah,
mainly
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
They stopped caring and he stopped getting paid. And I was like, all right, well, fuck Nirvana.
Yeah.
They used me
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like with this coming age, you know, where everybody's anything that you do, people are trying to literally people are doing anything to be famous, anything to get their name recognized. So something like that, like, oh, I'm already tied to a worldwide entity. Why not, you know, put my name
Sure.
out there even more and be like, no, I'm offended by them.
It's just such a dick move.
It
you
really
know?
is. That's what I'm saying. It's so it
Hella
hits your heart so
desperate.
hard. Even as a fan of Nirvana, I'm like, dude, you are a part of history.
Yeah.
That album is so historic. That album is so like
Now, I don't want to
Time
offend
changing.
any of the people that were photographed naked as babies and popularized by it. But
Jesus, man. Like, dude, come on.
You know, yeah.
It's like the Gerber baby's about to come out. Like, I was really offended by the fact that they
Or
Come
or
on,
the
man.
or
that's
the,
like Gerber baby's like great granddaughter.
Yeah, man. Like,
or the Teletubbies
jeez.
baby that was the son. He was like, you know what? My face, I didn't want it to be the son. On
I never
Teletubbies.
wanted my face on Teletubbies. I never wanted my face with them. I don't agree with Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky touch my Tinky Winky. Yeah, like
It's
everybody's
horrible,
trying to,
man.
everybody's trying to sue nowadays because they're not getting paid.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just your way to get famous. It's just an instant access to being famous. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like the Catch Me Outside girl, or
Or the Leaving Neverland,
yeah,
Leaving
it is.
Neverland people.
You know
Yeah,
what?
it's
That
just-
Cash Me Outside girl really chaps my ass. You know, let me tell you. No, because she's just such a fucking trashy broad. And I'm going to say broad.
yeah.
And
I'm gonna say
be,
bitch.
Yeah, right.
Well-
you know, and it's like now she's just a fucking millionaire. you
If
know,
I want to
for being a shitty person.
exactly, if I want to be politically correct with it, I'm not gonna knock her on wanting to pursue a rap career and wanting to be famous off of an opportunity that she got. But the fact is, you're not coming to the table with that much talent. Like, I understand, like, you made these songs, but the songs you made are just good beats, and you got subpar lyrics, which you probably got ghostwritten by somebody else.
She's got some curves.
So basically, you used your money in order to get, and then you had an OnlyFans account and made $1 million within 12 hours on an OnlyFans
I mean,
account.
dude, she got some curves, man.
Yeah, exactly. But like, of course, you're going to make bank off of that because people are perverted and
She's
simps
cute, too.
nowadays.
She's
Like, yeah,
cute,
it's like
she's whatever.
Exactly, and you're going to use that to bank off of that.
But the
to-
thing is,
to
Dr.
elevate
Phil
your name
used
even
that.
more.
Dr. Phil used that.
Yeah,
He's like, dude,
for sure.
I'm sure there was some fucking ugly chick. You know,
That was
unattractive
misbehaved.
girls.
There were some ugly,
You know,
misbehaved children.
yeah,
but
right.
She's like, wow,
Right.
this little girl is pretty. Let's bring her on real
Right,
quick.
right,
and then
right.
she's like, catch me outside. How about that? And then he's like, we just made history. God damn it. Like,
Yeah, right.
and then like it's all downhill from there, man. You know,
wow.
it's crazy. Like that's the way that stuff naturally progresses. Like she like I said, I at the end of the day, I can't knock her because it's just her making the most out of her
Isn't that
opportunities.
capitalism?
Yeah,
Exactly.
She
That's
found
the
a way.
basis
she
of
found
American
a way to eat.
capitalism.
She found a way to eat.
You know,
She-
you got to
she
find
got
that back
on.
door. The line is for us chumps. You know, you got to
really
go around
is,
that
man.
back door. You know
it
what I mean?
really is like right,
Yeah.
like the good-hearted people, good-natured people see the line and they back up and they figure out like, well, let me see what I can do behind this line.
Yeah.
But you know, people that are
And we're
trying to
told-
really get their money, they go the fuck right around
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
you
We're
know?
told the meek shall inherit the earth.
Whenever that is,
Yeah, right,
whenever
sure.
the hell that
Yeah.
is.
Hey,
Then
just
when the
being
earth
meek.
is scorched and devoid of all life, then that's yours. That's all yours. You can have that.
You
shit.
get the scrappings. You know, get the crumbs.
Yeah, man.
Oh man. Okay, so let's go back into acting. So you did the play. Have you done any other acting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right after the Lynch play, I actually got with a director named Philia Thomas. She's a really good director. Probably still doing projects now. She was very, very, very engaged. Very always wanted to find out what's going on with me. Always wanted to find out what I can do to be better. She was starting this play called Thunder in the Index, and she had a character named Joshua Noon. And she saw what I did in Lynch, and she was really excited to put me on the team. So she hit me up on Facebook. She's like, I got this project, come on through. We met at Karamu. We actually ended up doing the play at Karamu, and I'm super honored because at Karamu is it's a big venue.
I haven't even been there yet.
Right. It's like it's a lot of people do that. It's a big historical venue.
Yeah.
So we went
Where's
over.
that at? Tell me about
It's like right off of, I think it's on Quincy.
Yeah, it's
if
in
I'm not
Quincy,
mistaken. Yeah.
Cedar.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, if you're heading down like I think it's like Prospect, you go down Prospect.
Yeah.
Quincy. It's right around that area. Basically like the mean streets of Cleveland, essentially.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, she met up with me, and we went over the lines. We started doing the lines. I got this other guy that was with me. I forget what his name is, but he played one of the psychiatrists. Basically, the premise of the story is this guy Joshua Noon. He's a psychiatric patient, and he's in a straitjacket. My character played a guy in a straitjacket. I actually shared lines with another character, and like he kind of goes into a flashback where he's not in a straitjacket. He's like boistering about how great he was and all the swag he used to have and all the clothes he used to wear, and he used to carry himself like a king and stuff like that.
Right.
But me, I'm telling my story in a straitjacket. So basically we had this story where the psychiatric came in, like, how are you doing, Joshua? Tell me your story, and I would tell the story. And then it got to the point where, and I don't want to give too much away, but like the psychiatric ended up being the patient. He ended up being the one that belonged in the psychiatric ward. Like the Joshua Noon character ended up being the one that was like normal, because he was just like, I don't know what I'm doing in here. You got to get me out of here. Like, I don't know. He's like, you're the one that seems kind of crazy. I'm not crazy one. And like basically that whole
suicidal tendencies?
Yes.
Okay,
that whole progression. And then so yeah, I ended up doing that play, and that was a really good play. We only did like the one play at the Karamu. I really kind of wish we would have did more. But she immediately like got in touch with me saying like, okay, we're doing another play right after that, like this Motown play, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And I'm not the type of person to just jump right into a new project, just because I guess my laid backness or my laziness, whatever you want to call it, like essentially it's laziness. I was just like, I'll get back to you, Philia. And she's like, please, you have to do this. Like, it's ridiculous to not do that. I was like, I'll get back to you, Philia. And we kind of fell off that way, but those two projects were kind of like the only things that I really, kind of got into.
Well, I'm curious because you keep saying laziness. So if you are aware that it's laziness, why don't you just punch through it? Like, I don't know what
it's.
Because a lot of people don't understand that it's lazy. They just think they don't have the energy or whatever.
It's easy to do that. Yeah, it's very easy to just like to punch through it and go through it. But it's like, I don't know, man. It never occurred to me just like, hey, just do this, and then everything will work out for itself. And it's like I'm just the type. I'm a pure introvert, man. I'm a pure introvert in every form of the word.
Yeah, you totally seem like it.
Yeah, so it's like
I'm kidding.
I mean, like it's like I really am though. Like I'm a pure introvert. It's like I need my time by myself. I need my time to rest. I need my time to recharge. Once I get back out amongst people, yes, I'll be the center of attention. I'll be the life of the party and this and that. But like I need my time, and when you're telling me like, we're going to jump right from this into this, it's like it just scrambles my brain a little bit, and it goes into the point where I'm just like, I can't do that, man. Like, I have to have my time to myself.
Yeah.
And because of that, like, again, it's just excuses. Those are just excuses that I'm coming up with.
I'm looking for solutions, not excuses, man. No.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, man. It's like I'm kind of having my own therapy session here. It's like I really should get into it because, a lot of people tell me that I have a lot of talent. And stuff, but it's like,
well, you're very outspoken. I mean, you're definitely comfortable. I mean, both you guys, I've talked to people that were like, I'm like, man, they'd be great, to talk on a podcast or whatever. And then it's like they're so outgoing, so crazy, and then all of a sudden you put a camera and a mic on them, and then they're just a different person.
They just shrink.
Yeah.
I even told
You guys
him.
don't do that.
I even told him before I got here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do this.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know why you. Brought me. Why'd you bring me here to do
Like
this?
literally
stuff?
before he walked in the door, he like shrank. And when I said, "Hey, yeah, so you're gonna be in the spot," he said,
Right.
"Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, I was like, dude,
yeah.
you never told me that shit. I'm not trying to be interviewed. I thought I was just about to go off of what you're doing, but
No.
yeah, you get a couple of drinks, and I'm like,
Well,
hey,
well, that's
ready to
the
go.
idea. You know, I like people to feel comfortable. You know,
Absolutely.
and it's just it's a conversation, man. And
That's it.
dude, yeah, I think shit, man. You're gonna watch this back and you're probably gonna hate it, but I think
Oh, no.
you're doing. I don't know. You're a very expressive person, so I think you know, we're our own worst enemies, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
that's the
y-
biggest setback that you'll ever have in your success is yourself. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
yeah.
setback you'll ever have. I'd say
Yeah.
that for anybody.
Well,
That's-
that's what I was saying. Just, you know, when somebody asks you to do something, just push through and do it. Like, you know, I get asked to do things quite often. I'm known as the yes man. Well, not in the yes man, and I'll give you my opinion. Trust me. If you guys like come and record something and you fucking record something that's fucking whack, I'll fucking tell you, dude, totally.
It's
No,
like,
but I'm like,
dude, what are you doing?
This is garbage.
yeah. No, seriously, you know. But because I've recorded some people, and the most important thing to me is to make everyone feel comfortable. Like, there's no time limit. There's no, you know, whatever. You know, just do what you do. You know, same thing here. You know, it's like there's no expectations. There's no nothing. You know, I mean, you're gonna get that tens of view bump on your possibly hundreds.
Tens of people, just tens of people, almost dozens.
Yeah, right. Just get ready.
You're gonna get that jack up, man. I promise you. It's
No.
gonna be like 36 at least.
But even if, like, I've done things, people have asked me to do things that I thought was well outside of my ability, but they thought I could do it, so I just said yes, and I did it. You know what I mean? And it happened. It's when your feet are held to the fire, you know, you'll definitely do it.
You find-
know?
yeah, you kinda find
So
out who you are.
My recommendation is just say, I'll always say yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm not making $1 million either, so
Well,
don't listen to me.
I'm getting like that now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done this podcast because I'm kind of getting like that to this situation. Like, not, you know, no offense or anything, but like
Sure.
when he came out and said that, he's like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" Like recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've kind of gotten into the situation. Like, all right, yeah, I'm just down for what, because like to go back to the girl that I was talking to, like she's a model, so like I'm trying to like be on her level.
Here
you
we
know,
are
like
now.
she's definitely out there doing
what?
so many projects.
I'll
and
have a
stuff.
drink with you in a couple months when you're sad. You know, like- I'm kidding.
It's just.
I hope the best for you, bro.
I'm doing the best effort that I can. I'm going forth with the best effort that I can get. Like, it's just, you know, but you know, it really it's kind of inspirational. Like when you have somebody, you know, in your life, when you meet people, even if it doesn't work out, when you meet people in your life where you feel like, hey, I want to do better for myself, just to show that person, like, look, I'm
Right.
trying out here.
Sure.
I'm doing the best that I
Well,
can.
isn't it
It's-
crazy how like a girl you like, that'll motivate you. You
Absolutely.
know, I got into shape. I was like working out.
Right.
Yeah, like, I was like-
I can't raise my arms because I was in the gym the last couple of days, man, just working out. Like, I'm over here pumping iron, like, next to guys that are just doing this for a living.
I'm
They're,
like,
like,
the
jacked
thing
up. I'm like,
Hey, y'all,
this is my
I-
first
But the thing
time.
is, you know, it's like the narrative nowadays. It's like, you know, guys don't do that. You know, it's like we're the jerk. It's like everybody's like a rich 70-year-old white guy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a male, that's what you are. You're a billionaire old white guy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, no, we're not all billionaire
We're not
old
all-
white guys.
we're not
We're not
all-
all that, man.
We're not all
that's,
Donald
but
Trump.
that's the narrative, though. That's the perspective. It's like every one of the guys, they're all the same. They're all just
Right.
trying to get it. And like,
Right, yeah.
I don't think that.
No, yeah, for sure. You know, but yeah, no, I do. Trust me. I hope the best. Hey, you're a good-looking guy. You're charismatic. You just need to make $1 million. That's
Hey,
it.
hey,
That's
look,
the formula, man. That is the formula.
my wife is a model too.
Otherwise, you're a friend.
right.
And I understand
Right.
where he's coming from. You know, with the being like, oh, you got to do stuff. That's why I'm doing this podcast now. My wife's a model too. She's
Yeah.
always doing shit. She's a photographer. She's a videographer.
I feel like you're busier than your wife though. I feel like you're busier than
Nobody.
your wife.
She's busy.
I mean, you do concerts, you do music shows, you do comedy, you do you do these podcasts.
Mm.
You say you're doing vlogs, you're doing a lot of shit, man. You're doing a whole lot of shit.
Listen, man, I'm just competing with her.
It becomes a competition after a while, man. It's
Yeah.
just like, all right, who can be the most successful, and then also be like, yeah, I don't really feel like fucking tonight. It's like, who gets the upper hand in the relationship?
As long as we're not in that Will Smith, Jada Pinkett situation.
Right, that's dating
Oh.
in 2022, man.
now you're in some other dangerous waters.
Well, you know that. Well, let's go into that because
Yeah, let's
I'm a
zoom
little
in.
no, because I think
Fuck,
we went
that
into
was
that last
rough.
time you were here. But you know, it's just
That was
it's
rough.
sad because like they're in an open relationship.
She's in an open
She's in an open relationship,
She
man.
is in an open relationship.
No,
Will
hasn't
didn't
he
know.
been with somebody else though?
No, he wasn't
like,
with nobody.
He hasn't. Come on.
He took some racy photos with what's her name? What's the girl's name from Wolf of Wall Street?
I know he was. I thought
Margaret
he was,
Margaret Robbie.
Robbie. Yeah.
He
Okay.
took some racy photos with Margaret Robbie in a photo booth. That's like the most he's ever done. I don't know if he was really.
How do you know
fucking
that,
anybody.
though? I mean,
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
Will
know,
Smith
but he
is
doesn't-
not fucking some chick.
But he doesn't seem like the type of dude
But
that would be
look,
doing
Vince,
that.
At least he
But
kept
if
it on
his
the
wife
DL.
is-
At least he kept it on the DL. Jada just came out on the red table saying,
no,
look,
no.
If Jada came on the
No,
red
it
table
was that
saying,
guy
I'm
she
fucking.
fucked that wanted to brag about fucking her.
Yeah.
That's what happened, right?
It was an entanglement. It was
Yeah.
an entanglement.
No, the dude had to get on like the radio station and talk all about it, and
Yeah,
that's
man.
where they went wrong. You know, it's like because no girl's gonna brag about that.
I
Only
mean-
a guy would fuck
I mean,
that up.
that's actually true. That's actually true. Women aren't
Yeah.
going to go out their way to talk about a hookup that they had with a guy.
Right.
That's more of a secret.
Unless
That's
they're looking
something
for
that
money and
They
like
talk
a
about that
Deshaun
with
Watson.
their friends. Right. They talk about that with their friends. They don't really talk about that. Like, it's not like they're going public.
Right.
They're not going on podcasts and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like, yeah, so I did this
Well,
and that. But-
that's what that dude did. I thought I don't know. I didn't
He got
follow
on
it
the
too well.
Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was on the Breakfast Club.
And
He
he
was
said, "Hey, you
very
know, I'm
open.
fucking Jada Pinkett Smith
Right.
in an hour."
Yeah,
And that's
and
what I've
that
been
shit was supposed to be between all of them. You know what I mean? You know,
Jada texts him right after. Hey, what the fuck, kid?
but right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll still blow you after the interview, but hey, what the fuck?
But I mean,
Now I gotta explain myself.
But when you actually dig deep into the whole situation, like their whole, like I apparently I found out they never really wanted to get. She never wanted to get married in the first place. Like she happened to get pregnant with his child. And
Yeah,
it was like one of those like
Mm.
shotgun type of things.
They
like,
had Jaden.
Okay, we're both in the industry. You know, I'm a young up and comer. I don't really have nothing to my name. He's already done Men in Black. He's already done
Fresh
all
Prince.
these Fresh
He's
Prince.
already won a
He's been on
Grammy.
TV. Right. He's very established. Why not, you know, go along with this and just be what in this? I really want to be with Tupac. Like,
Yeah.
that's really what she was
That's-
trying to do.
that's
She
what
was
she
trying
wanted
to be with Tupac, but
yeah.
yeah, you know, it's like it's just this situation happened, and then like I guess you know the years went on, and you know he died, and she's like, well, if I can't be with him, I might as well just stay in this
She
situation.
said,
and
"Fuck
then-
it." She said, "Fuck it."
Yeah,
Will's
and
the
then-
next best thing. After
Right,
Pac.
and then there's this build up over the last 30 years almost, like
Yeah.
25, 30 years. It's just this build up, and it got to the point where he's just like, boom, I'm slapping the crap out of Chris Rock, and it's like, where did that come from? And like we all see what's going on. Like she didn't approve of what he said, and he came up on
it's just
stage. It's
so-
just like it's so
But
much
did she-
deeper.
But did she ask for that? Did she want that?
That's the thing, though.
You know, it's like, I don't think she
because
did.
it built up so much. Like I said, because of that 20 plus year build up, it got to the point where all she has to do is make a face, you know, and because he is so wanting to please her or wanting
well,
to be.
I think there's an element of him looking for. He's looking like a cuckold. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can
right?
really say that.
You know what I
You can
mean?
really
and
say that.
and like now here, he's being called out.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's really questioning his. Like we were just talking, women want a man. They want a manly man that's going to take
much
charge.
that's gonna slap the
shit out of
somebody at the
feminists that
Oscars.
come out the woodworks in 2022, like
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
Women
they want a
man.
man to come out, like grab him by the hair, like we're about to go over here, girl, and she's like, okay.
He didn't literally mean pull him by the hair. He just meant figuratively.
Absolutely figuratively.
Well, with
Absolutely.
Jada, you couldn't really pull her by her hair because she has none. But don't
Oh,
slap me, don't slap
hey.
me, Will, for saying that.
But no, but it really does come down to that. It's just like, you know, I think he got into the situation where it's, you know, he wanted to be that guy for her. You know, he
Yeah.
wanted to be that guy. What, you know, maybe when I do this, she'll finally respect me. Maybe when I do that, because if you heard about that video, did you see that video that they took? Like I think a few years before that incident,
Okay.
she took a video. She took some video about like she was talking to her fans. She's like, all right, and they're in their house. Like, you know, he's lounging around in the house.
Right.
He didn't expect to have a camera in his face. He's like, all right, we're going through therapy. And they're like, Will, tell him about all this
Oh,
therapy.
yeah,
and he's
I
like,
remember.
I don't really feel like you should have a camera in front of my face right
Yeah,
now.
they was in the kitchen.
I'm in
I
my
seen that.
house. Like, I don't really feel like, I feel like you're trying to get clout off of my name right now. You know, you're trying to. And then she came back with like, so y'all understand this foolishness that I'm going through right now. And it's like,
Is this Jada saying that?
that's Jada saying that. He's like, yeah, well, all this foolishness is like, but it's not foolishness. It's like, you have to understand this man doesn't always, he has a camera in his face every time he walks out the house. So it's only right that you turn the goddamn camera off when he's inside his
we're
house.
in a day and age where I see a lot of celebrities. They're doing their little TikToks and their Instagrams.
yeah,
and
for
stuff
sure.
like
Even
that,
Will
you know,
himself.
whatever, yeah.
Yes, that's cool. But when he's in a situation, like he wasn't dressed for the occasion. He was
Right.
like,
He didn't
it was-
even have it just
it
for
was
men.
not
It
a
was
morning.
cute, probably.
Yeah, it was
or
mid morning,
something,
and she's
whatever.
talking about like therapy sessions that they're doing. And
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, and
He didn't
he's
even have
just
it
like,
just for men.
if you
stuff
want to
in
just
his
maybe
hair,
turn
yeah.
off the camera for 5 seconds, you know, so we
Oh,
can
right.
actually have a moment here today,
Yeah.
real moment. And she's like, well, this foolishness. And it's, you know, I'm not sitting here saying she's the complete villain in this situation, but like a lot of things that she was doing, it's like you're cloud chasing. You're kind of cloud chasing in a sense.
Well, you know, I noticed too, like, you know, I've had some good friends, and it seems like women, gosh, you know, I'm generalizing a lot. You know, every woman's different, you know, but I'm just saying that, you know, a couple of the women I've seen, you know, it seems like whenever they get like another guy, like, you know, I've been in a few relationships, a couple, you know, maybe one or two. And you know, it's like when you can tell when the girl has another guy,
For sure.
you know,
You
because
start
now
becoming
all of a
less
sudden everything you do is wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything.
It's
you
like
know?
she could-
and
she
it's
could
like,
just-
well, you can't do anything
She
right.
can fall out of the conversation at any time that she wants to.
Right,
Like,
right,
yeah,
right,
you'll
right.
say something and she'll just write into the phone or something
Well,
like that.
so
Like,
and Jada had the other guy, and obviously she's just looking at, you know, it just seems so formulaic to me. You know what I mean? It seems like it's happened so many different times. You know, where, you know, I don't know, and I can't say it's all women because, dude, like a lot of women I meet are super fucking cool and super independent and whatever. You know, but. You know, there's definitely the ones that are looking for the relationship or looking for something that they're not finding. But I'm sure, you know, I'm biased because I don't date guys. I'm sure guys are the same fucking way. You know what I mean? You know,
That's true.
you know, I just date girls so I can see the flaws in the girls. I don't see the flaws in the guys when, you know, because I don't date them.
Right, we're not out here just with constant guys every other day. We don't know, like, we haven't perused the aisle, you know. So yeah, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
they have a different perspective. We have a different perspective because
Yeah.
we're used to seeing a certain type of personality, just like they're used to seeing
Sure.
a certain type of personality, and they're very different personalities. And
Yeah.
it's just like they can only use what they've seen to form their perspective, to form their opinions
Exactly.
on the opposite sex. And
Sure.
that's the same thing for us. We
Yeah.
can only use what we've
Right.
seen out of the opposite sex to
we're
form
biased.
their opinions.
We're both biased.
We're all
Yeah.
biased. Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're bi and then you date both and then you realize all people
They're
suck.
probably the most enlightened out of all of us. Yeah, they just like, I've been all over. I know. Yeah, it's true. But it's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Little known secret.
Yeah.
About TJ, he's great at fucking, just like.
He's great at fucking. How do we know?
I wouldn't know that. You can ask him, right? I don't know. But he's just good at improv. Like, you can Like 5.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, Dad, what? Why'd you come in my room throwing away my porno magazines?
Jordan, you're not allowed to have porn. Jordan, you're way too young to have pornos right now. The only porn you should be watching, Jordan, is me and my mother and your mother. Okay, like I have been drinking. Okay, Jordan, I have no idea what I'm saying, but you are on punishment right now, Jordan.
Dad, you've been drinking way too much. You've been telling me to go to law school. I don't want to go to law school anymore.
Jordan, you are my son. Of course, I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink until the day is over, Jordan, because you will not attend synagogue, Jordan. I'm not happy, Jordan.
I don't want to go to synagogue anymore. I'm denouncing my Judaism.
Wow.
I want
Jordan, you've announced your Judaism at least every last Friday that I've known you. Okay, you announce your Judaism. You denounce your Judaism every time. I have played so many Lenny Kravitz songs for you, Jordan. Okay, I've played so many of them, Jordan, and you can't get it through your thick skull, Jordan, that you must go to synagogue. You must do 12 Hail Marys, Jordan. You must do 12 Hail Lenny Kravitzes, okay? until I tell you that you're done, Jordan, because you will be a lawyer when you get older, Jordan. You will be a lawyer and you will sue everyone, okay, Jordan? You will make thousands of dollars.
I want to be friends with people, Dad.
You do not want to be friends with anyone, Jordan, okay? All they're going to do is stab you in the cravats, Jordan. They're going to stab you right into your little cravats, okay? And they're going to make you feel terrible, Jordan. And you will do. You know what you're going to think at the end of the day? Maybe I should have listened to my father and sued someone, Jordan. That's what they're going to think, okay? So that's all you need to do, Jordan. You need to follow me into my lawyering. I have classes, Jordan. I have classes. We're going to go to synagogue. We're going to go out of synagogue. We're going to go to these classes,
Dad,
Jordan. And I'm going to find somebody on the street. I'm going to find a random stranger on the street. And you're going to sue their pants off, Jordan. Okay? It doesn't matter what it's for. It does not matter.
And scene. You see what I mean? Like, this guy is like, that character right there, we've been doing that character just randomly in the car.
Yeah.
We would just be riding in the car, and I just throw like the recorder on my phone. I say, and I just go in a scene, and he would just be this character. So when I was a teenager, when I met him, I just started making like this like improv character, like a Jewish black family,
Right.
and who worships Lenny Kravitz. That's why he says Lenny Kravitz a lot.
Sure, because Lenny Kravitz is Jewish, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
just the smallest tangent of
Yeah,
Judaism.
yeah,
It's
right.
just like, yeah, we're going to equate that
Well,
to...
I was just wondering, where is the inspiration for the voice coming from?
Yeah, TJ, because you made that voice up. I never told you to do that.
I mean, what do you...
He just
It almost seems like
watching any character from any TV show from
Right.
the 70s to the 2000s.
Yeah, it's almost like like Fresh Prince. Like it'd be
Yeah.
in there somewhere.
For
maybe.
sure.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, like those types of characters. You know, you don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to do it, but it's like, that's, what are you going to do if you do a black, you know what I'm saying, man? Like, that's not what we want to be represented as, but that's how you identify a black character in in forms of media. Like, there's a subtle racist identifier that you have, and then that's just what you use. That's what I use, unfortunately.
It was like the butler on Fresh Prince. What was
Jeffrey.
it? Jeffrey.
Yeah, absolutely. Pure, unadulterated bunk.
Master William.
Master William.
Should you be doing that, Master William? But yeah, that character, like, I was just like, TJ, let's just do something on the camera. I had a video camera. I was like, TJ, let's just do something on the camera. And I was like, let's just be like a Jewish black family. And I just pressed record. I put a yarmulke on his head.
Yeah.
He put like a little scarf thing over around him. He's like, you can find this on YouTube. He's like, Jordan, have you been touching my thermostat? It's cold in here, Jordan. I'm very cold. And I'm like, dude, we've been doing these characters like literally for 8-9 years straight.
It's been a while.
And we plan on taking this we're gonna make it something one day.
Yeah, do like a little skit or something.
I'm telling him we should go on
It's getting
stage.
harder and harder, in this day and age to do characters like that because everybody's gonna come out the woodworks like, "What are you trying to say?"
Well,
it's like,
well,
I'm
I
trying to
think-
say it's comedy, man. That's what
I
I'm trying
think
to
I
say.
think if you're in a minority group, you can get away with
Yeah.
doing a little bit more.
We can.
than,
It's not
you
like
know.
we're Ben Affleck doing. it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We're just
Ben
doing a little-
Affleck is definitely limited to what
yeah,
he
he
can
has
say.
no leeway. He has has zero leeway. You can do what you are. That's all you can do, man.
He can't even.
I promise you. You can barely date Jennifer Lopez. That's barely.
Yeah,
just barely.
Yo, like when he was first starting to be Batman, people was like, "No, you can't be Batman."
No, people legitimately. I said that for a long. I wasn't
Yeah.
even gonna watch that movie. I'm like, Ben Affleck as Batman. If you don't get
Well-
the fuck out of my face with that.
Well,
shit.
I'm old enough. I'm old enough to have seen the Michael Keaton do the
Yeah.
Batman thing, and for some
I think he was
reason,
the
like,
best one.
well,
besides,
that's what I'm saying.
Christopher-
That's what I'm
Christopher
saying.
Nolan, the Christopher Nolan ones.
Well, those are the Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan thing. But no, like the Michael Keaton ones with the Tim Burton way
Yeah,
back in the day.
absolutely.
Like Michael Keaton to me, like, and I was a child back then, but it just seemed weird that he was Batman because I was like, he was like in Mr. Mom, you know,
like
he
a
was like in
silly
these
guy.
comedies and stuff, you know, Night Shift and stuff like that. I was like, how is he Batman?
He was a
but
decent
now
Batman.
he's known as like the best Batman.
He is the
you
He was
know?
a decent Batman, but as a Bruce Wayne, no.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here. He was a terrible Bruce Wayne.
Uh,
Too short, too silly to be Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's what I thought too. Yeah,
It's funny when when we talk about Batmans. I always because like one of the first Batmans that like I actually like applied myself to is because it's weird because okay, Batman and Robin when that came out, you know,
Yeah.
it had all the celebrities, you know, it had
Sure.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman,
Uma Thurman,
and all
yeah,
this.
Swart,
It's like,
yeah.
It had George Clooney playing
Chris
Batman,
O'Connell.
and that's the guy that identified with Batman.
Yeah,
and
me
I
too.
didn't know later on that was gonna be the absolute worst Batman that ever came
Sure.
out. And it's just like it was so funny, like how that worked out. It's just like, yeah, of course, George Clooney, he's Batman, he's the best Batman ever. And then I'm like looking at all these other, like you know, Christian Bale and Michael Keaton and even Ben Affleck. I'm like, God, these guys were way better at
you
George.
know who I think was the worst Batman? Adam West.
Yeah, wow.
Adam West,
You know-
but he's a victim of the times, though.
Yeah, I was gonna, and they were doing the campy kind of.
Yeah,
He was like,
Come on, Robin. Here we go. We're gonna do back. Like,
Yeah.
No, I
He
get
still had,
what they
like,
were doing.
He still had speedos on. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I get what they were doing with that, and it was so campy and so crazy. And they even had the wham, bam, whoop,
Yeah, they
you know
like,
what I mean?
You
You
like
know?
they emoted the onomatopoeia. It's
Right,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
goodness gracious.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
It's like they're the product of the '60s. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you
product
can't
of
really get
60s.
nothing else.
Well, you know, I was just watching something. It was the Skin. It was about nudity in Hollywood or whatever. And like Adam West was like doing this nude scene while he was like in the whole Batman era. And it was like this famous nude scene where him and this girl were nude, like in the swimming pool and stuff like that, and like making
Sounds like
out
the
and stuff
60s.
like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, neither did I. You know,
Wow.
And I had to watch this thing. You know, and they were just talking about like nudity all throughout. You know, which now it's like, you know, I guess that it's just normal because now it's like instead of boobs everywhere, you see penises all over.
Euphoria, the show Euphoria.
Game
You
of
watched
Thrones.
You watched the
man.
show
Game of
Euphoria.
Thrones. If anybody's ever been a fan of Game of Thrones out there, if you aren't a fan of Game of Thrones, get prepared for some
Right.
penises, man.
Well, I watched the new one, the House of
Fire,
Dragon or whatever the thing, and yeah, sure enough, they stay true, man. Orgies, you know, friggin'
Sheesh.
chopping off genitals and you know
My
all that kind of
God,
stuff, man.
Like,
In the
Like,
show
it makes-
Euphoria, there's like a penis in it every 6 seconds, and it's about like Zendaya, and she plays like a drug addict in high
Yeah.
school. And every locker room scene, penis.
Right?
You haven't have
Which
sex
you
with-
know, whatever. I think you know we've objectified women enough. I guess you know it's cool to.
it's our turn.
Time
Oh,
to
yeah, right,
it's
you
our
know?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like HBO's totally fine with man ass at this point.
Yeah.
Like they're leaning into the
Oh.
penis, but like they're super fine. Like any HBO show that I've ever seen is like Superman, like man ass every scene, just like butt, just man butt all
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
This
Have
is
you
like
seen the new Kids in the Hall?
I have not seen that. No,
Oh man. So have you seen the old Kids in the Hall?
I saw a couple
okay.
episodes.
All right, you know, but whatever. It's like a sketch comedy show.
Yeah.
And the new Kids in the Hall, I mean, there's a lot of full frontal nudity from a bunch of aged white men.
Really? Oh my god.
Sounds like a local YMCA,
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious.
which is where I first.
Yeah, when you go into the gym and you walk in there, this dude's just proudly walking around.
That's where I first
I
seen-
saw that, man.
That's
When
what-
I first started working out at Planet Fitness, like I went into the locker room. It was crazy. Like there's just like an old white man. He's just full out, just like walking
That's
around, towel over his shoulder,
Look,
not
I
like
saw-
not around his waist, just over his shoulder.
I
and
saw
just
that
like,
when I was
this is it.
16, and I went to a YMCA just to go in the locker room to use the bathroom. These guys are just in there like, yeah. So what you think about that game yesterday? I'm like,
Right.
dude, your sack is
You know,
out.
like taxes is just
Right.
like, oh my
Well,
god.
I'll tell you what. After we do this, I'll tell you my story about.
For sure.
Let's cheers to not seeing any more sacks in the YMCA.
Well, you know, yeah, I'm happy to not see sex.
Yeah.
I just remember being in wrestling in high school.
Oh yeah.
And when I'm just like sitting on the bench in the locker and the guy's standing next to me, I look over, it's like dick in my face.
Super dick.
I'm like, this is awesome.
This is a great time. This is a great
I didn't
time.
wrestle anymore after that. I don't know what.
I like that fucking takedown you did. I'm like, dude, you have a boner.
Yeah, like, please don't talk to me while you're just,
Yeah.
your dick's pointing at me,
I
man.
see, and I was never into sports really when I was in high school, and I don't know, and like I didn't come from a family that were just comfortable just being naked. I know there's families out there that are like that.
Yeah,
you know.
my friend, he was in a nudist family.
Yeah, I have friends like that too.
Yeah.
They had a whole like a picture on their. I went to his house and they were in Jamaica, and they had a picture on, and it was like him, his sister, his brother, his mother, father, and some Jamaican guys, and they were all just like mooning the camera, and his sister was like hot, and I was like, whoa.
Whoa.
Right.
This is porn for
Like,
me.
Yo, I'm gonna take this home if you don't mind.
But yeah, it was just super normal, and I was like, whatever.
Like, hey, let me go in another room. With you.
I would've been-
I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I have, like it. That would have been so strange. I don't think, like, yeah, it's crazy to me, but it should be normal. I mean, who cares? You know what I mean?
Again, going back to Louis C.K. is like,
Yeah.
if we belong here, why aren't we comfortable at all? It's like we
Right.
need right angles and smooth surfaces, and you have your clothes on. It's like
Yeah.
we need it to be warm, but not just
Yeah,
Well, that's
It's
because
like,
everything is
yeah.
perception. So
Yeah,
that's why.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta have those right angles, and
Yeah,
yeah, me and you date models, so angles are everything to them. Like,
for sure.
if you get their bad side, then you're like Hitler to them. You know.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like
yeah.
that. But,
Dating models. Yeah,
It's not as cool as it seems.
I can't. It doesn't seem cool.
it's hard.
You have to look good all the time. If you don't,
It's hard.
then they're looking at you like, why didn't you put that nice shirt on? I'm
Right.
like, because
And
I
they're-
just woke up.
And they're not gonna insinuate that it's hard. They're gonna say that it's like no, just be yourself, and just do
Yeah, they're gonna
what
go
you
for that
say.
modest.
Yeah, it's like,
Well,
I don't care about
well.
that stuff.
But
It's like,
but in their
Well,
mind, they do care. 'cause I
But
know.
at the end of the day, no, I've seen some like really attractive girls with some guys where I'm like, dude, I'm obviously
way
better than
this
that guy.
Way better. Than
But
that guy.
I don't have his money.
There it is.
No.
Yeah, and that's
That's
just,
how it goes.
Yes,
man.
it
is.
That's how it fucking goes.
Well, what was I just watching? I'm gonna confess, I was watching Joe Rogan, and there was a guy on there, and he said he was going through it. First of all, he was going through. I don't know who it was, but he said his girlfriend's email was up, and he read her email. Which, first of all, creepy as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't anybody on that show call that dude out
So
on
weird.
that? You know what I
So
mean?
Weird. Yeah.
And nobody called him out. But he said he read this thing about her talking to her friend, and she's like, "Yeah, he's really funny and all this stuff, but I'm just not attracted to him. But I'll try and make it work out." And this guy had to read it.
Oh man. There's
he
nothing-
read that.
there's
He,
really
he read that.
There's nothing worse
Yeah.
than that. Yeah. You,
But it's like dude, you were reading something you shouldn't have fucking
Exactly,
read.
right.
You know what I
You're
mean?
gonna be
Like, there's
candid
no
like
way
that.
I would ever do that. I don't
You
care.
don't go
if
in-
I'm skeptical and I think a girl's lying to me, I walk away.
Yeah.
Easy.
You don't. I was
Easy.
just telling my sister that I was like, you never go on your partner's phone. You're gonna
Yeah.
hurt yourself. You're going
Yeah.
to hurt yourself because there's some information in there that you don't know, and when you look at it, it may be about you. Your partner may be talking shit about you religiously every day to their family.
90% of the time you're not going to be soulmates, so they're going to be talking some shit
Right.
about you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to find you perfect. There's
Right.
going to be something
Yeah.
that pisses them off about your
Sure.
character. So like, it's going to be there. All you're doing is discovering terrible things about yourself.
So there's no. It's also it's like you never go and your partners. Don't even go on your best friend's phone. Don't go on anybody's phone.
No, it's not for you to look at. You know what I mean?
It's not your business.
Yeah, it's that to me was silly. The fact that nobody fucking called that dude out on that
Yeah.
was
Well, it's the
crazy
Joe
to
Rogan
me.
podcast, so
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of things you can go in.
Well,
on somebody,
I think they were also trying to be polite, and they didn't want to, because if they said something, then it puts it on the spotlight, and then next thing you know, dude's in trouble, and
Yeah,
you know,
it's
whatever.
all over Yahoo. and
So it's like
Google and stuff.
everyone's trying to be careful all the time, man.
Yeah, you gotta tiptoe, man. You like, or else you'll be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And then people
Freedom
start,
of speech, my ass.
and then people start digging up on you from the past and stuff. It's like, oh, well, he did this back in high school. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my god, man. Like,
you know, and it's crazy because like it's so crazy because I remember like a lot of these things people are getting in trouble for you couldn't do back in the day, but it was just unspoken, whatever, and
Right.
whatever. But like now it's like this whole like this whole cancel thing, and like
cancel culture. Yeah,
yeah, I don't personally know people that are offended all the time, and I hang out with a lot of liberal people, and like I don't see that. It just seems like the media is kind
it's
of
like somebody on
saying
Twitter that has nothing
People are-
better to do.
people are being manipulated into feeling that way.
right. It's like maybe like 0.5% of all the population feels that way, but we're all
But those are the people that
we
they
all
highlight.
have to cater to whatever that person.
Those are the perspectives that they highlight. Right?
Yeah,
You're-
yeah,
you're
yeah.
Not, you're not allowed to say this on Twitter. You're not allowed to say this on Facebook because you're going to trigger these certain people that are getting upset by this.
On Facebook,
But it's like, it used to be like they're just words. It used
Right.
to be that they're just words, and like,
Right.
why are you that affected? Why is your life that hurt by it? It was like being the concept of being triggered. Like maybe I'm just too old. Maybe I'm just not with the times. But the concept of being triggered,
You're a young guy, so I don't know.
the concept of being triggered is allowing
This
yourself.
proves my point because you guys are young guys and you still.
Yeah,
where are you at? We identify.
But this is allowing yourself to change your entire life and to affect your mood because of something that somebody said or that somebody wrote.
Right.
Like, they're words, man.
What
like,
happened to sticks and
word.
stones,
Yeah.
man?
nobody's
Yeah,
hurting you.
yeah.
Nobody's hitting you.
That
Like, what
doesn't
is the
exist
problem
anymore.
here?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I recently, because what's the name? Kid Cudi. I don't know if you heard about that situation at Rolling Loud with Kid Cudi.
Okay.
And recently,
I just want to say real quick,
Mhm.
if you feel like you're gonna get loud, just step away a little bit.
Oh, I got
'Cause, I just don't want it to clip. I
Yeah,
I
no
want it to
clipping,
sound
no
good.
clipping. I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
But
I'm sorry.
anyway, go ahead.
But like, yeah, the situation with Kid Cudi, he recently was at a concert. They were supposed to book Kanye for this concert at Rolling Loud. It's a concert called Rolling Loud,
Yeah.
and they were supposed to book Kanye West. I guess he got into it with the people that were booking the concert. He wanted to invite Travis Scott. I guess Travis Scott's still going through that situation with his concert or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he wasn't allowed to come. So Kanye had some problem with that. So because Travis Scott couldn't come to the concert, Kanye West didn't want to come to the concert.
Okay.
So instead, he got Kid Cudi to perform in his place. So Kid Cudi's on the stage performing at Rolling Loud. Apparently, nobody in the stage wanted to see Kid Cudi. Nobody in the crowd wanted to see Kid Cudi. They're throwing water bottles. They're throwing debris. They're throwing all types of stuff at him. Throughout his entire set, they're throwing stuff at him. And it got to the point where eventually Kid Cudi just like, he had a water bottle thrown at him. He's like, he stopped everything. He's like, yo, if one more person throws a bottle at me, I'm walking off. Flat out. I'm walking off. And then 3 seconds later, boom, water bottle at him. And then
Really?
he walked off. He walked off the set. And
Only
then-
3 songs into
So
the
why
set.
wouldn't anybody want to see Kid Cudi?
because they're dedicated, ridiculous Kanye West fans, and
Oh,
they
I
only
see.
want to see Kanye West.
Sure.
And because they didn't see Kanye West. Now, kids nowadays, I need everything for me, and like because I'm not seeing what I
but the
want to
thing,
see.
no, this happened. I remember there was a Clash of the Titans tour. It was like Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. I'm showing my age here, but the
know who
opening
Slayer is.
the opening act was Alice in Chains.
I like Alice in Chains.
Yeah. Well, nobody else knew Alice in Chains at the time,
Oh.
and I knew who they were, but I liked them, but they got booed the whole entire time. The thing is, shortly after that, they were way bigger than any of those fucking guys. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
kind of
right.
funny, you know?
Right. Right.
But it happens all the time. You know what I mean?
That's just concerts.
yeah.
But the point of what I'm saying is like, like they ridicule this guy. They got him. They're throwing things at it. Like he was literally getting assaulted with like water bottles and different debris and stuff. And
Yeah.
I was talking about that on Twitter with some young person, and I talked to them, and I was like, I talked about like he got somebody threw a water bottle. Like that's not cool. And the guy said like it's just a water bottle. Like why does it matter? Who cares about that? Like. Why is he getting that upset about it? It's just a water bottle. Chill out.
Should have
And
threw a
he's-
tomato.
But he said like I get it if he called him like a racial slur, like that would be different. It's like so you're saying
Physical
him
harm.
calling
Yeah,
right, physical harm is not as bad as somebody calling you. That's the difference in the generation, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess.
Yeah, like saying some words is way more harmful to somebody
Well,
than
it's-
actually physically
Like,
harming
But you say generation though, but you guys are millennials,
I mean,
and that's
yeah,
who
I
we're
guess
all
we have
blaming
to-
this fucking
we have to
woke
identify as
woke
that.
ass cancel culture thing.
Yeah,
on,
we
I
have
guess.
to identify as that, but I don't feel myself in any. I don't agree with any of that stuff.
This is my point. It's the same thing as like years ago when they were doing the War on Christmas thing. It was like
Oh my
all the conservatives
I
were
remember
all
that.
so up in arms about
Happy
the war
holidays.
on it.
Merry Christmas.
Right, yeah. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I literally have 95% like atheist friends, and not one of them hates Christmas. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know,
Fucking
where
hate
is
it.
this coming from?
Yeah.
You know,
right.
it's made up.
Who
It's
is-
fake.
Who is out
I
here-
really
who is
believe
out
it.
here being really offended by that. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Where's the demographic? Where are the people that are picketing? Like the whole Christmas thing. Like who? Like why do they care? Why do people care?
it's
so much?
it's a reason to divide us.
Yeah.
And the media puts this shit out, and it's like nobody really fucking
Nobody
cares.
feels- Nobody feels
You
this
know?
way.
There's
man.
a thing going on now where
Now they do because you got everyone all pumped
Exactly right. When you put enough of that stuff out into
Right.
the world, people are like, I guess I do feel that way. Now let me get all riled up. Like,
there's
come
a
on,
thing
man.
going on now on Facebook where I'm seeing commonly where it's like black men, why is the black woman always so like attacked? Why don't black men like black women? It's like it's the thing that pits black men against black women.
Right.
And it's not even like that. There's black men out here that like black women, but
Right.
on Facebook.
Well, they love to tout the statistic that black families, the father is absent.
Yeah.
But I think you could say that, like, my father was absent
yeah.
when I was, you know what I mean?
It's not
I
specific
think it's-
to a specific
I think it's
race.
a poor.
It's a poor person thing.
Yeah,
I've heard Latino people say that. I've heard
Yeah.
Russian people say that.
Yeah,
German
yeah,
people
yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Everybody says that. Like, my father was not in the picture.
Right.
Fathers are shitty sometimes, man. Like, in general.
You're
fuck it.
talking about like a 20-something-year-old guy.
Yes, right. He wasn't trying to really have a kid, and now he has
Right.
this kid, and he's overwhelmed. So he's like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of out of here. It doesn't matter what race he is. Like,
Yeah.
it spans any type of race. Guys are not ready to have kids a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We
The
were just
women end
we
up
were just
having the
fucking.
kid.
We were just fucking.
we
and-
were just having fun, and then the women are like, I'm not giving up this child. It's like, I really think you should give up the child. It's like, no, I'm not giving up this child. They end up having it. Like, you need to step up as a father. They're not ready to do that,
Yeah.
so they end up walking out. That is not exclusive to any race.
No.
It's
No,
just they want
I
to talk
totally
about
agree.
black fathers.
But
so
you
much.
you always hear that. That's always the narrative. It's like, oh well, if black fathers were a part of the family, you know.
Your dad-
Which, I mean, you could look at statistics, but yeah, it's only because our society has put black people down on a lower class that is more predominant with black people. You know what I mean? It happens in, white families as well as mine, you know what I mean? But, it's only because there's such a higher percentage happening in the black community because our society puts so many black people in that class.
Yeah, it's almost like
You know?
chicken coming before the egg,
Right,
and like the
right,
egg
right,
also
right.
coming before the
Well,
chicken.
that's the
It's
argument I always like to say to people is, well, black people, there's a lot more crime in black communities. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, well, I'm like, is it because they're black? Or is it because there's a systemic problem in our society? Which one is it?
Are they kind of being? Are they kinda
You know
being
what I mean?
Are they kind of being egged on to be
Right.
to be violent,
Exactly.
and to be criminals? and
Exactly.
stuff?
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
they
yeah.
already expected
Exactly.
to be criminals? Like if you walk up to enough people and they're like taking their children and holding them away from you and holding their purse from you,
Right.
and they're saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna call the police on." Eventually, you're gonna be like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna rob you, man! Like
Right,
I'm about to
yeah,
just
yeah,
take your
yeah.
shit
Fuck it,
anyway."
people
You know,
start
like,
to say, "Fuck it, I am the villain." of the
being a
story.
product of your environment is almost the environment making the
Well,
product. you
Well,
know?
and I mean, I don't know. I just did like a whole thing where I mean, they specifically put the highways up to divide black and white communities. The
Well, it
whole
goes back
thing,
to
the
the red
wrong
line.
side of the train tracks is a true thing because when they put the train tracks up, they knew what they were fucking doing.
Yeah,
They divided everything. I mean, there's this famous story over in Florida near Miami where there was this black community thriving, but then they decided to put this freeway right through there, and it just cut them off.
Yeah.
Cut them off, and then the whole neighborhood just collapsed.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's like-
the bombing of Black Wall Street. They're
Yeah.
like when
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we
That's
first got
exactly
our
that.
independence and stuff. Like blacks were forming their own community.
Yeah.
We were like investing money. We had our community going. We were making money. We were establishing ourselves as an independent race, and then, yeah, they just came in and bombed everything.
Yeah.
And
Or
it's just
even
like,
here in
they
Ohio,
don't talk
even
about
here
that.
in Cleveland, East Cleveland
Yeah.
was one of the richest cities that you can go to here in
Oh,
Cleveland.
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, those millionaires, when you talk about like Millionaires Row, like it's funny to think that like those houses, those mansions aren't there anymore because when those people moved out, they saw the neighborhood going and they demolished their house because they did not want somebody in lower income living in their house. So that's why none of those mansions are still there. A couple of them are, you know
Crazy.
what I mean? Isn't that crazy?
Just off of those principles, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
off of,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can't have my house owned by some dirty, like, lower
Right, yeah,
class
yeah,
citizens.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. But there's people out there that say no, there's no systemic racism. I'm like, well, I don't know. Did black people get the GI Bill? Nah, yeah. You know what I mean? Did they get the
question
good
to bring up?
Yeah.
man.
Did
It's
they
a-
get the housing? You know.
Right,
no,
right,
no,
right.
they didn't.
We were on
I
the
don't know.
wrong side of the red line,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
I hate to say it. We were
But
on
you
the-
know what? And it's like not too long before that, women had no rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's within the last 100 years.
I
That's
like
not
to-
even
I-
that
I like to
long
bring that
ago.
up a lot. I like to bring that up a lot when we talk about like racial issues, and people like to say, "Oh, it's like there's no racial issues. Like we've gotten past that. Like why you keep bringing that up?" It's like, but it's the same. I bring up the same thing with women's issues. There's a lot of things going on with women, things that they hold dear, things that they think are a problem in society that I don't care about. And
Right.
I'll admit that's saying like I don't even think about those types of things.
Sure.
But that's like everything to them. And it's just like it's almost the same thing. You know,
Right.
it's like I don't care about what they're going through, but they think that's very important. It's just like
Right.
a black versus white thing. This is very important to me, but you don't even seem to care about that. And it's like, but they act like that stuff doesn't exist. It's like it very well does,
Sure
man.
does.
You just don't care to think about it, man.
That's
you don't
right.
care to deal with it.
Right.
And it's just like
That's
it's the
right.
same. Like I said, I'm able to have that perspective because I see where it comes from. I have a whole different perspective on another group that I don't care about a lot of times.
We'll do one more of these.
For
here,
sure,
and then-
for sure.
One more. This is the third segment. I guess tequila segment. Whatever. We're gonna open
Final
ourselves up, man. No, but hey, man, here we are talking race and fucking.
No, man, you definitely make it good, man. Like it's not gonna be awkward. You bring it, you put the stuff out there. The more you're confident in talking about it, the more you're confident in putting everything out there and saying like these things exist, the more respect that I would have for you. You know,
Yeah.
like because if you're sitting there like, well, obviously these things don't happen. Obviously this stuff doesn't happen. It's like, but let's talk about this. Like, no, all these things are happening. It's just about how do we deal with them? How do we attack them? How do we talk about them?
Yeah.
And I respect that.
You know, and I was just recently talking to somebody, and you know, it was a younger female, and she's like, you really believe that if you work hard, you know, you can get what you want? I was like, I do feel that way. And she just kind of rolled her eyes like ridiculous. And then it made me think, and I'm like, you know, dude, if I'm trying to do this podcast and say this gets any kind of success, there's going to be somebody that's going to step on me and take this idea and run with it that's way more aggressive than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
Somebody wants to spring.
and that's why I'm shooting low. I'm just going Cleveland. Nobody's going to like monopolize that.
He's like, no, I'm taking over the Cleveland game. Like, yeah, that's not a big selling point right now.
No, everyone's trying to be like million views, whatever.
Yeah.
No, I want to like focus on like because I want to focus on the things that nobody focuses on. You know, I want to give the voice. You know, could be literally hundreds of views, guys.
I mean, we're topping that. We're topping that ranking right now. Hundreds of views. We're talking about 100.
Right.
Like at least 123.
Billions. Billions. Like
Right.
Like Donald Trump.
No, but I think that's what is actually great, though, if we can bust through this algorithm or whatever, you know. And that the only thing is they want their money, so you have to promote the videos. You know, and the more money you put, the more views you're gonna get, and more whatever, you know. And that's why, like, you always see, like, I said the Paul brothers, because, dude, they came from like money in Westlake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, yeah, they're young kids, and their parents are like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, you can promote your videos," and
Right.
then they become like sensations. You know what I mean?
Right. And even in those situations where they like kind of fucked up, you know, like I forget who it was.
don't
either
matter.
Logan or Jake. Or
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got taped in like some type of
Japan.
Japanese forest.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the guy hanging. It's like even in those situations, you're still getting clout. You're still having people talking about you.
He probably got more viewers
That might
there
have
from
right,
doing.
that might have
Yeah,
helped his career more than any
I
other
think
thing
it
that
did.
happened.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that he got banned from YouTube because
Right.
of the situation that's going on. No, it's more people went and clicked on that video
Right.
than ever before
Right.
because he got banned from YouTube.
But how much money did he put into promoting that video too?
Absolutely.
You know what I
That's-
mean?
That's where you.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
people
That's the
think.
part that people don't know.
No, and people think that you're just gonna like, oh, I'm just gonna be myself. Because dude, I do watch some bullshit. It's like this girl turned me on to like this girl, and she's from Massachusetts, and this guy's from Italy or whatever, and it's like he owns this country club that her family goes to. I'm like, hey, come on, get the fuck out of here. Who, you know what I mean? It's like, and I can care less about these fucking people, but they got like 1 million views because you know what? They're paying the money to do it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And that's what I think people don't realize, you know? It's like people are really pumping money into this shit. They're not just like, oh,
Fake
I'm
it
that
till-
interesting.
Just fake it till you
You
make
know?
it.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's a lot of that situation is like you can go really deeper into it. Is like the YouTube stars are like the new like exploitation targets. You know, like
Yeah.
the people like the big media guys. Like they're kind of falling off of like TV and movies. They're moving into the internet. You know, when it comes to like YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, like all those people on those websites, on those social media websites, they're the ones that are actually getting targeted. They're the ones that are being told to, hey, promote this product, promote this thing that we're doing, promote this event that we're having,
Right.
promote this thing that we're promoting as well. And it's like they're the ones that like because people that are on the internet, like they have the ultimate influence right now because everybody's on the internet. Nobody's watching TV anymore.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people aren't really watching TV. A lot of people are in their phones. They're on Twitter. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook.
Right.
They're on all that stuff. So what else to do but use those people that have put their platform out on Facebook and put their platform out on YouTube and put their platform out on TikTok and like take them and take advantage of what they're doing. Like, hey, I know what you're doing right now, but hey, we have this Kit Kat commercial that we're trying to do.
Right.
I think you'd be perfect for that. You know, it's like something like
Yeah.
that, and it's just the
Well-
new age of exploitation, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's exploitation. I
For
mean,
sure,
just
for
punching
sure.
a fucking
Absolutely.
clock is exploitation, really.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, whatever. But, well, let's do this. One more.
Oh, yeah.
One more shot.
Oh, yeah.
3 shots
One for the
of
road,
tequila.
man.
Yeah. All right, here we go, guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're really gonna get sexist and crazy here.
Say it back.
All right. So let me tell you the problem with women. No.
Yeah, let me tell you.
They need to serve their masters.
No. So, all right, you guys are working on a movie.
Well, eventually, we want to take that Kravitz and Son thing. That's what I'm calling it, the Kravitz and Son thing.
Oh, okay.
And I want to take it and make it like a little mini series on YouTube.
I mean, God, when you get into now you're getting into the Jewish thing. I don't even think black people can touch Jewish shit.
Yeah,
man.
that's
like the holy grail of
That's why we've been
offending people.
And I'm
man.
learning because of what I'm learning, and I'm learning like when you want to do anything with arts, and you say anything about Jewish people, and you're not Jewish. You're treading on thin waters,
dude.
man.
Yeah, well, that's
you
like
see what happened with Whoopi
now you know what it's
Goldberg.
like to be a white guy.
Oh yeah. You see what happened with Whoopi Goldberg? She said one little thing about Jewish people.
Yeah, right.
She got suspended for like 7
Well,
weeks.
but the thing is, I saw her point, but yeah, it was a little. I mean, because dude, I'll tell you what. I've been to the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam, and dude, I walked out of there weeping. That's fucked up what they did to those fucking people, man.
Yeah, the concentration camps were.
But I mean, at the time, it's like, what the Jewish people were, I don't know, were they controlling the banks and stuff like that? And then the Germans thought, hey, no, this is our country. And it's this whole kind of immigration thing that's going through now.
But you see, what we're doing with our
know.
comedy is like not even like hurting anybody.
Right.
Like we're just like, it's obviously just like a satire.
Yeah, but it's like, but you're right. Like it's like as soon as you if you're not Jewish and you act like a Jewish person, you're anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
we're not
You
saying
know what I mean?
anything.
That's kind of how it goes. Yeah.
And it's the same way with a lot of things. It's like, there's people getting cast in roles. It's like, well, first of all, you hear about this Addams Family thing?
I know Louise Goldman is playing the character.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And that's another thing that I think is made up because, like, I don't hear anyone being upset about it, but everyone keeps posting about how, oh, if you're so upset about this guy being cast as Gomez or whatever, and I'm like,
he looks like Gomez.
he looks just like him.
Talking about Louis Guzman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Like,
That's what I'm saying.
There's
But
like-
no, there's this thing. And the only reason I know about it is because people are bitching about the people that are bitching about it.
Yeah.
But I never heard the people bitching about it in the first
like,
place.
I'll tell you what.
Are these people dead? Like, what is it? Like, I don't understand what the offense is. Like, it's crazy.
I mean, a long time ago, nobody wanted there to be a black Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now we got Miles Morales.
Well, Miles Morales, yeah. And totally appropriate, I think.
Miles Morales came into the whole Marvel picture around 2015.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive with comic book fans just because, like, that's all they have is the comic books.
Yeah,
Like,
that's all they have. Yeah.
That's their whole life. And then, like, when you talk about,
I don't think it was 2015.
It
I don't
was
think that's the first
No, it was
Miles
2015.
Morales thing.
No, that was his first
Really?
Inception.
No, in the MCU, but no, in the comic books, I believe he came earlier.
I think they made him black, like, a little earlier than that.
Yeah, for sure.
They made him black a little.
Here, I'll look it up. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Because we know, because like, all right, so one of my favorite like celebrities, Donald Glover, he was supposed to be like the first black Spider-Man, right?
But he was in Predator too, so.
Who Donald?
Glover, yeah.
He wasn't.
Oh, not Donald Glover, but
You think
his
about Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, yeah.
He gets that a lot.
That was on. That was actually on Insecure. There's a show on HBO about Insecure. It's called Insecure, and she went out on a date with a guy, and then like Donald Glover came out, and like she was a really big fan of his, and he's like, "Yeah, I loved you in Lethal Weapon," and he's like,
Oh shit.
he's like, "That's not
Yeah.
that's not me at all." It's
He's been
it
getting-
created a very awkward moment.
He's been getting that his whole career, but like what I'm saying, he was supposed to be like he was gonna try to be the first black Spider-Man, and nobody wanted that. But Stan Lee saw that and he was like, "Ooh, maybe there should be a black Spider-Man." And
Okay, the first comic was 2011.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's
That's-
I'm wrong
Yeah.
because you said 2015, but I thought it was before that.
yeah,
actually.
what I meant to say was like
You know, because I thought it was like right around the Spawn time, because Spawn was like a
2011
black.
is more in 2011 is more to the fact of what I'm saying. Like the comedy special, what I'm talking about with Donald Glover came out in
Yeah.
2011. Weirdo.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he was casting to try to be the first Black Spider-Man,
Okay.
and it didn't happen. But Stan Lee saw that a black famous person was trying to be Spider-Man.
Right.
Let me like try to make a black Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
bam, Miles Morales was born, a half black, half Latino Spider-Man.
Sure.
And now we got the one of the best Spider-Mans that came out, like the Into the Multiverse.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I like because I just remember when I was a kid, like there was so many different versions of Spider-Man. You
He
know,
should have
there was
been
a
black and white.
spectacular. There was the ultimate. There was
He should have been black
amazing.
in my.
There
He should have
was
been
a-
black in my opinion. Like he's a kid from Queens.
Right.
He doesn't have both parents. He
Yeah.
lives with his auntie and his
Right.
uncle.
Yeah.
He has it hard in life.
Sure.
That's a black kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Or a Hispanic kid, you know. So, but I see that's why they made Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But yeah, which
But again, that kind of goes into it's like that's us taking our perspective and making it so like we're the only ones that can experience that. Like that's happening in a lot of white families too, though. That happens.
I mean,
it's not
it's
necessarily
true, but
a
it
situation
does.
where it's exclusive to us.
Yeah. So are there? But this is the thing. This is the difference, and this is what I try to explain to people. So, all right, they say, okay, let's use people getting killed by the cops. More white people get killed by the cops than black people do. Okay. And then people like to bring that up. But we got to look at percentages. What percentage of all white people are getting killed by the cops, and what percentage of all black people are getting killed by cops? The percentage of black people, because since there's a lower percentage of black people in the country, it's a higher percentage. Why? Let's look at that. Why can't we answer that question? You know what I mean? Same thing. Same thing with sure, there's a lot more poor white people. I got my Google Assistant going on. Why? So there's definitely more white people that are poor or whatever, but it's a lower percentage of white people than, you know what I mean? There's a higher percent. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
It's like there's more. It's like you take 100 people, 100 black people, and say 20 of them are poor. Whereas you take 100 white people and 2 of them are poor. If you're looking at percentages, I guess is what I'm saying. If you're following me, I don't know if you're following me,
No, I know.
but so then we have to ask ourselves, why is this certain demographic of people? Why is there a higher percentage of them experiencing whatever the fuck bad thing that's happening?
it's all
like
by
nobody-
design.
What's that?
It's all by design.
Well,
I
I think there is part of that. I mean, I think there is part of that. There is a systemic problem to put black people in a certain way. I think there's a systemic thing to put certain lower income white people or lower income Latino people, or lower income. You know what I mean?
I think it does. It comes down to the situation. It's just it's just based on what club are you in. Because think about it. There's a lot of people that are out there that have these little tags that they put on their cars or whatever that lets them know hey, I'm affiliated with
Right.
the police system. And he's like, if you get pulled over and you were speeding or something like that and you have that tag on your car, you should know when you walk up to that car, you're probably going to see some privileged white person in there. They're
Sure.
going to be like, I know the district attorney. If you even say anything to me, I will do, and they're like, they get crying.
Are you talking about the sticker like a BLM
Yes,
thing or something like that?
and they get kind of crazy about that.
Yeah.
And they
I agree.
Usually when they pull over, somebody in a minority situation, they're probably gonna know there's no way they know the DA.
Yeah.
There's no way they know anybody in the system. It's
Right.
like, so obviously I have more leeway to be a dick to you. And
Yeah.
why would I not be a dick? Because my job's hard, because my
Right.
DA is on my ass.
Right.
And he's trying to tell me to reach these quotas and do this stuff. So I'm going to take my frustrations out on you because it's harder for me. It doesn't necessarily have to equate to a black or white thing. It's just the fact that, like, I know that you have no ties to the police system. So why not fuck with you?
Right.
You know, so why not make your life a little bit harder? Because you don't know. I've seen plenty of videos like that where a woman is just like screaming her head off, but she knows the DA and she knows the sheriff of the police station, and like they can't do anything about it, so they have to just let her go wild and
Like a
slap people and
privilege.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're privileged a little bit in this situation. But
Oh
that doesn't-
God! Oh,
but I
I'm
don't
sorry.
think that
Did we
equates
say
to, like,
privilege?
race.
Oh, that's a trigger word for some white people, man.
I'm not gonna say that like equates to a certain race or something like that. It's just
Yeah.
like where you came up from, like what type of advantages you had in
Yeah.
life. Who do you know? And a lot of times we don't know those people. We don't know a lot of the people in the police system. We don't know a lot of people in the judicial system, in the justice system.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot of those people. So when they pull us over, it's a lot easier for them to be like, hey, I'm going to be the law. You do what I say. I can plant drugs on you. I can do this on you. I'm not saying that they all do that, but like it's easier for that to happen because we don't know anybody.
Yeah.
We don't have any ties to anybody. So why would you listen to us? Why would
Yeah.
you listen to what we're doing? Why would you bow down to us? Why would you why would you let yourself open to our criticism? You're going to shoot us immediately. You're going to shoot us right in the ass because we don't know anybody. Like we're not about to talk shit to you because you're the police.
I think it's important to say too that like a lot of the cases that happen, like we only see like a couple.
For sure.
You know what I
We
mean?
don't know
Like it's
anything
happening
about
a
what's
lot,
really going on.
and it's happening a lot to a lot of different demographics. But the media just doesn't decide to want to, report on certain things.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they choose it
Yeah.
just to divide people.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and
Like
I
we
don't
talked
know.
about earlier.
Yeah. It's strange to me, because like when I'm talking to you guys, like we're dudes. It's nothing different, right? We all
We're just guys.
experience, we're just dudes
Absolutely.
hanging out. You know what I mean? But if you listen to the media, we should not get along. It's just a crazy thing. Well, and it's also like it's not just that, because like I've grown up with people that I felt like I saw eye to eye with, and now it's like they found a way to divide like us. And there was a buddy of mine that we talk about, and it's like there's like families that are destroyed by this.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why? For a bunch of people we don't even know?
Yeah,
We don't even know these people?
Yeah,
And we're going to sit here and defend these fucking assholes?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
for the entertainment purpose.
Yeah.
It's like it's all about the business. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily matter like who it is that they affect, or what type of life that they went through, what where they came from, what background they have. It's just about, can you pit this race against this race? Can you pit these people against these people? And really it's like we're doing that so we can distract you, so we can do our things in the
Yep.
government and in the, in the
Yep.
higher up system to fuck
Yep.
over all of y'all.
Yep.
Oh, it's
Y'all
like
sit-
what's
y'all
going
just
on.
Use your petty divisive systems and be like, well, this is happening and that's happening. It's like that stuff doesn't even matter. We're fucking you over in a way more immediate situation and immediate action and a further down the line action.
Yeah.
But you don't understand that because you're too busy worried about why Chris Rock is black and Will Smith is
Right.
black and they both slap the shit out of each other.
I totally agree, and I think you nailed it. There's something going on.
Mhm.
And that's what I said. Like, people always. I've had 3 shots of whiskey now, or whatever. tequila.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So whatever. But I'm gonna say something I'm gonna regret. But whatever. No. But
We've been doing that all
these people like there's a divisiveness divisiveness,
for sure.
you know, that it's like I said, you know, it divides me against my father. It divides me against like 4 or 5 of my best friends, you know, and and it's all things that we don't know. Like, we just know what they tell us, you know, and it's like, do you
That's
want to
why it's
believe
up to you,
this
yeah.
thing they told you, or
That's why
this
it's up
thing
to
on the
you
other side that they
to
told
do
you,
your
you
own
know?
research.
Right,
Don't go off of what Joe Schmo said on the TV.
right.
You have to go and do your own research as an individual so you can know that what is being presented to you is fact.
And I'll also say
But
this.
we're never going to, wait, that's the thing. I'm sorry. We don't know anything that's fact. All we know is what they tell us, and we don't know that that is fact.
That's why you
You know
go
what I
to
mean?
Google.
Yeah,
and
but you
finesse
can't
that
Google some of these things. Like
Yeah.
like these people that are in power, they're like, for instance, I'm sorry, hold your thought, please. And like, for instance, these people that are like, oh, Trump's our savior, whatever. Well, you know, if he's such a thorn in the side, nothing's going to happen from this FBI thing. Trust me.
No.
Trust me.
We all know that.
This
We already
is
knew that
just
from the
another.
beginning.
This is just
Oh,
another
they
thing to
rated-
get people excited.
They rated his moral logic.
Yeah,
Like, who
right.
the fuck cares?
This is
man?
just another thing to get people excited.
Yeah.
Because if he really was a thorn in the side,
He would have been dead
right?
They
Why
would've
is he
shot him
still
in
alive?
his
Why
face.
is he still alive?
in broad daylight, like
Right.
every other
No,
person.
no,
else
he
on
is
the side of America.
he is a puppet just like everyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
They
for
do
sure.
that. They raid his estates to move along the timeline of news
Yeah.
the news and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and it's like, if this media hates him so much, why do they keep reporting on him?
Right? Why is he still
Why do they-
involved
yeah.
in the fucking media?
Right.
Why are they still bothering to put him into these
Right.
news stories?
Just if you want him to go away, just ignore
He
him.
stopped being the
He'll
president
go away.
3 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still reporting on him? If he's that damn much of a threat to society,
Right,
yeah.
right,
And-
right. It makes no sense, and it's all a facade. It's all a facade. Now, that being said, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because we're never going to have the facts. We're never going to know. We're never going to know the truth. But it sure does seem like, why is he still alive? If he's such a fucking, the steal the fucking whatever. Dude, they killed fucking Kennedy for less.
in broad
You know
daylight.
what I mean? Right.
In broad daylight.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will say this. I think it's something that they've probably been doing for a very long time, and it's an easy way to regulate your actions, because that's something that we all fall into, because we're a little uneasy with branching out and being our own person.
Yeah.
When they make these stories and they come out with all these things about Trump, or about this school shooting, or about this person that shot up this place, this guy in Buffalo that shot up all those black people, or something like that, they make it black and white.
Right.
They have to always make it black and white, because they know at the end of the day, that's what we're all going
It's
to
an easy divider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so easy for us to fall back into that, like, well, they look like us, so
Right.
I'm going to take his side. Well, he looks like us, so I'm going to
Right.
take it. They know that.
Yeah.
They know those things. So that's the basis of any news story you're going to hear about. Right. They're going to make it about race. They're going to make it about gender. They're going to make it about religious background. They're going to make it about where you come from and what you've grown up as, because it's way easier to do that than to use your own individual ideals to use what you believe to be right in life. No, it's easier to be like, hey, is he black? Is he Christian? Is he a man? Is it like, all right, so you should be on this side. It's empty. So you should be on this side, and that person should be on that side. You should be Republican. You should be Democrat. You should be man. You should be woman. You should be Jew. You should be Israel. You should be Arab. You should be this and that. It's way easier for them to divide us like that, and they've been doing that for years.
And like every
Years.
story that
they've been doing it for
centuries, like,
Ever.
for
Yeah.
centuries. It's like
Well-
that's the basis of any news reporting. It's just like divide and conquer the people. You know,
For the ratings.
it,
for the ratings.
well, it-
for
well-
for the clout.
Well, now, yeah, we can sit here and say for the ratings, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's been going on. I mean, this is how people stay in power, you know? And as long as they could divide everyone, we'll never rise up because there's more of us.
No.
There's more of us than there is of them.
We could always overthrow the government.
Like-
we could always overthrow
Like,
the
you
police
ever,
system.
you ever think, like, I always bring it back to this, like, Robin Hood. And I'm like, fucking the sheriff of Nottingham was a dickhead. You know, and everyone seemed to know it in the story. And I'm like, there's so many more people than that guy. And whatever fucking military
Hey,
is.
it's like
I'm
the-
like, why didn't they just rise up against him? Well, I'm like, I'll tell you what. I know why now. I know why now because I've lived in America. Well, I could say I lived in France. Yeah, that's another thing. It's like people are like, "Oh, if you don't like this country, move." I'm like, "Well, I'm just going to move to another country where I'm going to hate the government." You know what I mean?
That's essentially what's happening. Right. It's like any
Yeah.
country you go to.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna have a problem with with the way that the government's doing their thing. Not probably
I
as
feel like-
radical as it is in America, but like you're always gonna have a
I feel
problem.
like I'm
with
going to
what the
have a
government's
hard time hating Canada, mainly because they got free health care.
doing. If you
Well-
really dig deep into the Canadian government, they're doing a lot of shit where they're like,
I'm going to have a
Yeah, I was
You
going to say
probably
there's
should
people that
probably-
hate them
you probably
too.
should have
whatever.
did things a little bit different. Yeah,
I'm going to have a problem
problems.
hating Australia because their health care is good.
Well, I just had somebody on the podcast from Britain, and I asked him about the whole healthcare thing or whatever, and he's like, "Well, no, we have healthcare. You know, it's really good. It's free. We don't have to pay for it." He's like, "The thing I have a problem here is I have to pay for healthcare, and then when I go to the hospital, I have to pay again."
Yeah. It's seen as a privilege instead of a right. Yeah,
Yeah.
healthcare, like the right, the fact that you could live or die is like something that's like, it's a privilege to have that. That's what a lot of people think. Like
It's not
a privilege
No,
to be
we
able to
pay
live or die
taxes,
in
we
this
should
country.
get it.
Yeah, it's like I've worked hard my entire life.
Yeah.
I've done the right things. You know, I've lived this life. I've assimilated myself into your system of being and living. Like
Right.
I should deserve at least the privilege of being able to like
And-
decide whether or not I live or die.
And
Like,
if we can agree that we live in a monetary society, the money should flow. It shouldn't just flow in one direction.
yeah, capitalism.
You know, well, see, capitalism technically should not work like that. Like, we don't live in a capitalist society, like at all. There's no way we live in a capitalist society, because if we lived in a capitalist society, when those banks failed in 2008, they should have failed, and those guys should be poor and desolate on the fucking streets. But no, that's not
got
what
bailed out.
happened.
They
They got
got
bailed out.
They all got
They
bailed
got
out.
socialized.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but
Sure.
God forbid a poor person gets socialized.
Oh, for
Well,
sure,
which
yeah.
there is a lot of socialism in this country. I'm not going to say that there's not, but
It's very
you know,
low key.
yeah,
it's
but-
it's very minor compared to the
Yeah.
like those big systems that get bailed out like on a constant basis.
all right. So this is going on the longest podcast I've ever had. I think it's the 3 shots of tequila. But no, I want to end on a high note. I want to end on a high note. I want to know what you guys are planning on doing, like with your career next.
You want me to go over?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, September 24th, I'm throwing like a showcase for like musicians.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Next Up, and I have it at this place called Family Circle on 71st and Harvard, and it's like this is the 3rd or 4th annual Next Up. We've been doing it. This is my wife's show,
Nice.
and we're gonna be doing it for the 4th year.
Where's that at?
We're gonna be doing it at this place called Family Circle on 71st and Harvard, and it's gonna be pretty
No
good.
shit.
It's gonna be pretty good, and
Yeah.
we just like doing that. You know, just like giving people who've never had opportunity, or people who have had had an opportunity, a chance to just keep going, or somebody to just get started.
Yeah.
And so he's been to one of our shows before, and we just have a great fucking time.
Yeah.
So that's what we got going. That's what I got going coming up September 24th.
No movies, plays, whatever.
Well,
we just did an
We
audition.
just recently did an audition for a movie
last Thursday.
like kind of like a short film type of thing. Yeah,
called
last
Embers.
Thursday. We auditioned for different roles and stuff like that, but we haven't heard anything back from anybody recently. So we'll see how that works out. But I was really interested in the script, and like I said, I ran through the script and everything, and they told me to do this and change it up because I played like the comedic relief. Like the guy that I was doing was like the cameraman. He was like comedic relief. He was a black guy. He was very sarcastic and stuff like that. I'm like, that's right up my alley. So like, yeah, I try to do as best as I can to like represent that role. And I'm like I said, I'm hoping they hit me back at some point. But if I don't do that, I mean, like I said,
You got more comedy coming up.
Yeah, we're
always doing
every
that.
Thursday we go to like this place called over on the west side, and they have an
on
open
Lorraine.
mic. They have an open mic night, and we're going over there.
Thursday, you say?
Yeah, we go over there and we do comedy.
The guy who used to host it, John Armstrong, who I want to be on the show, who will be on the show.
Oh yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I'm down.
He was doing it for some years, and we're just going, and it's a great environment to just own your craft as a comedian.
So every Thursday between 7:30 and around like 9:30 is like different open mics. Different comedians can go up and tell their jokes, tell their stories and stuff. And we'll be one of the comedians that go up. So whenever you can, come out, support us.
Nice.
Listen to some of our jokes. Listen to us bomb on
Do
stage.
you guys have
whatever
like
you
any
gotta do.
the websites or anything, Facebooks or anything?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at that's_rage, or I don't promote my Facebook because sometimes it can be kind of controversial, and I don't want you to see that. But yeah, that's all I have to promote.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Facebook at TJ Durant. That's my name on Facebook, and then I'm TJ.Hundley on
Twitter.
Instagram. HUNDLEY. That's my name. TJ.Hundley on Instagram. I don't really have a whole lot that's going on over there, but my Facebook is very full of different things, and it's like Twitter. Same thing on Twitter. I'm TJ Durant on Twitter. If you want to hear some controversial stuff, definitely hit me up.
Controversial stuff got me interested. Well, like what? Like what?
He goes on a lot of good rants.
Yeah, just it's like the Sean Watson thing, and
sure.
the Donald Trump thing, and it's just any topic that seems like it needs more.
Kind of like how you were doing today. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean? Yeah,
Basically,
you didn't hold
anything
back.
that I was mentioning today. That's all over on Twitter.
That's
Just hit me up, see what's going
Well,
on.
I think
I'll
you're a
talk to you.
reasonable guy, and I think I don't know. I think it's amazing. But
Word
all right,
up.
well, yeah,
Doc Chick.
Yeah.
all right. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. No, seriously, dude, this is super fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a tequila or you guys.
I've had
I don't know,
I've had
but-
a great time, man.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
Let
had a
me
yeah.
great
tell you
time.
something, Mean Gene.
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
been
Like,
sitting
from-
here on
from
this
the mo-
chair.
from the mo-
I've been sitting on this chair, brother. I'm ready to rack up, brother.
Right.
You know.
From the moment that I walked in here, like from the moment that I started talking to you, like I really felt comfortable, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You do a good job at making people feel
Vince is
comfortable,
awesome.
making people feel like they can open up and stuff like
Oh,
that. When
well,
the drinks
That's
start
the
flowing,
idea.
like I'm everything that I've said today is 100% real.
Yeah.
Like, this is my 100%
Well,
perspective. So
I was
I
gonna say
appreciate
I do some sober ones too,
yeah.
and same outcome, man. Everyone,
I feel like you'd probably get the same thing from me. Like
Yeah.
you really would. Like no, for
The
real.
first
Like
one I did
Yeah.
with him was a sober one.
yeah, if
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with this person, like if I feel like
Yeah.
you really have a good perspective on things, like if you're coming from a good spot,
Yeah.
like where it's like I have an opinion, but it's based on some fact and it's based on like
Sure.
some reasonable doubt from this perspective or that perspective. If you come with like I have an opinion, if you say I have an opinion, I'll actually, I'll open up. Like I'm willing to
Sure.
open up for people that have a really good opinion
Well-
and feel like, hey, I have a perspective on life. This is what my perspective is. You can choose to accept that or not. I'm talking to that. I'll talk about that all day. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We'll debate on that all day.
Well, I was gonna say I think we can go into forever on
we
this
can
because,
go for hours.
you know,
on this
but
shit,
you,
man.
you're like a comedian, musician, whatever. You're an expressive
Exactly.
person. You're an open soul. You know what I mean? And
That's all
that's how it goes.
It's a
you know
beautiful
what I
thing.
mean? Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
And that's what I've always strived to be, is just completely open, try to
Yeah.
understand everyone and whatever. And like I said, I just want you to feel at home and feel comfortable and whatever.
You've accomplished
But
it, sir.
well, I appreciate that. That's a very good compliment, and I'm gonna go ahead and say
Bird up.
thank you guys once again.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
yeah. And all right, Sub CLE, we're out.